Yo, what's poppin', everybody? Welcome back to the podcast. Another episode of Caffeine Green with your man, Connor Cardenas. And per usual, before we get into it today, I just want to make sure that you guys are heading on over to www.caffeineandgreenroasting.com today for all of your coffee needs. That's right. Right now on the website, you can get any of the coffees that I talk about right now. I'm talking about that Issa blend, that Notorious, and that Morning Sesh. All amazing coffees. The Issa blend being the only blend that we have, which is a nostalgic coffee taste. It's bold, it's chocolatey, it's tasty. We also have that single origin Costa Rican coffee, which is a very, very sweet coffee. It's a black honey processed Costa Rican coffee, and it tastes so good. More of like strawberries, black currant, and I believe caramel. And then also, last but not least, I'm talking about that Morning Sesh, which is a single origin Colombia Huila coffee that is one of my personal favorites and all of your guys' favorites as well, as people just can't keep that one in stock. So Morning Sesh, it's super good. It tastes a little bit more acidic, I would say, but has very, very nice flavors and all around one of the best sellers. So guys, like I said, head on over to caffeineandgreenroasting.com today to pick up any of those coffees that I just mentioned in Caffeine and Green, where passion meets motivation. All right, my guest today is Coach Chuck Martinez. Coach Chuck is quite the interesting guy. I have to say, you know, we run in the same circles, and we have a lot of mutual friends, but we just never met ourselves. But then because of the Tahitian fight that we just had, the Tahiti versus the USA, which was Tahiti Fighting Championship versus Epic Fighting Championship here in San Diego, I was able to make that connection through my friend Rahede dudes from Tahiti, and I was able to train with them and was able to film them and just got to spend time with Chuck and all the Tahitians. So it was super awesome, and I'm glad that we got to make that connection. But he has a great story. He talks about his time in the military, him, you know, in his own MMA fights, and how he's been improving his Instagram with fighting techniques, as well as just training a lot of the fighters that are coming up through Epic. So it was a great conversation, guys. It's just super natural. He's a natural at talking. It was super fun. So without further ado, Coach Chuck Martinez. This is your time to shine, homie. Let's go. Give me caffeine and green. It's your boy Connor. What's good? Good. Caffeine and green. And we are live. Chuck Martinez, Coach Chuck.
Yo.
Welcome to Caffeine and Green, sir.
Glad to be here, bro. Glad to be here.
Cheers.
Cheers. Fuck
Dude,
yeah.
yes. Cheers, boo.
Mm-hmm. That is definitely tequila. All right.
Oh yeah, man.
Yeah,
Reposado. We keep it G in this house. It's, you know, hints of vanilla. It's nice. I got my a peanut butter whiskey here myself, but yeah, man. Super excited to have you on. We were talking about on the podcast before we started that I actually had heard about you through my Instagram popular page. The first time I'd ever seen you, you were teaching an instructional video of how to throw proper boxing mechanics, if you will. I liked the Instagram video. I saved it for when I go to the gym, but then I seen you pop up on Tristan Quittachet's Instagram story. And I was like, yo, I have to meet this guy. And then fast forward even to this, you know, the Tahiti versus Epic fighting, you knew Rahede. When like Rahede showed me around Tahiti, and then it just, I don't know, it just, without even knowing you, I felt like I was like, yo, I have to get to know this guy. I feel like there's too many people that were running the same, I don't know, I say like journey, if you will. We're going along the same path, and to not know you is like, no, I have to pick this dude's brain. I want to see what's up, you know.
Yeah. It's interesting because it seems like such a big world. You know, so many people train in San Diego, and so many people are into training and this and that, but it's really not. Everybody kind of knows everybody eventually. There's like 2 degrees of separation before you know that person. Yeah. You know? So, and those videos on Instagram, I fucking hate doing those videos, honestly.
Dude.
I hate them. But I've gotten so much positive feedback that I'm like, okay, it's worth doing it.
Yes,
it's
of course.
worth doing it. It's like, I like teaching. I like training fighters. Yeah, everyone thinks that, like, you know, obviously I'm the coach at the arena, and a lot of people think that we're like a pure fight gym. And that's not true, man. We got most of our members are just regular members. I like teaching regular people properly. You know, like in a land of everybody doing cardio kickboxing, I want people to do it right. You know, so like that's what fueled me to start posting stuff like that, because I see so much out there, and I'm like, there's a certain aspect of like, am I being arrogant to think that I should, like, do I really know more? Why? But how many things do you have to see that you're like, fuck me, this is what's out there? Well, shit, I'll throw my dumb shit against the wall, see what happens. And then you get feedback from people from all over the place, and everyone's like, hey, man, I saw that. That was awesome. And you're like, oh, cool, man. I'm glad you enjoyed it. And you say that enough times, and you start to go, oh, there's value. Yeah. People see value in it. So, okay, I'll keep doing it. Like, I enjoy teaching. That's what even someone that completely sucks, I still, like, if I can get them to be, at least have that, like, oh, then I'm like, oh, that's it right there. That's the aha moment. That's what I'm looking for.
Yeah.
Where a lot of people just kind of gloss over it, like, whatever, they'll figure it out.
Well, I mean, okay, so actually we're jumping ahead, sorry, but like just so people who don't know you, you're a coach at the arena, which is you have three facilities in that one little area right over there off of
We're big, yeah. We're a big gym. We're including the office space, I think we're like 27,000 square feet.
Dude, so gnarly.
Yeah, we're gigantic. Yeah, wow. It's like pretty regularly people come over and they're like they come to the gym and they're like, holy shit, I had no idea this gym was this big.
Yeah.
Like we post videos all the time. Like we posted a full facility video with the square footage of the different training areas, and people just don't get it until they actually come there.
Same for me. I had seen your videos and I was like, damn, there's another arena, but it's just all the different rooms or whatever you want to call them.
Yeah.
But it was funny when I actually came to film you and like Rahede and some of the team before the week of the fight, or 2 weeks before the fight. They were like, oh, yeah, so you go through here, go to the back one. That's the MMA training gym. And I said, what? And then I go over there. I was like, oh, damn. Okay. And then you go in there and there's some killers in there. And it's just super rad to see the high caliber of fighters that you have at that facility.
Yeah. We started, the gym started small. I used to be at a different gym. I was at Throwdown when I first moved to San Diego. I first moved to San Diego in 2009, and somebody I was in the Navy with, just like, I knew Jonix because I had come to visit in 2007 when I first got out of the Navy. I came to visit. I just kind of like, I got out of the Navy and I just stayed in my car and just went places where I knew people just so I could do a train. Right. So I had a friend.
Where was this at? Was this here in San Diego?
Yeah.
Oh shit. Where are you from though?
I'm originally from New York, from Queens.
Okay.
So I'm originally from Queens, but I was in the Navy. I was stationed up in Washington near Seattle. So when I got out of the Navy, I kind of just drove to places where I knew people and just stayed and trained. So I came to San Diego in 2007 and I trained at Undisputed, like with Barrett a couple times, and I was going to LA. I trained in Colorado. I just kind of like became a nomad because I had just been in the Navy for 10 years. So I just wanted to like clear my head. So all I did was go train. So when I moved back here I had no idea I was ever moving back here. So when I moved back here in 2009, my buddy that I came to stay with, because my son moved here, so that's why I ended up moving here. So I went to stay with my buddy, and he knew Jonix. I had met Jonix, so Jonix was working at Throwdown. So I went there, and he got me a job. So the first job I ever got in San Diego was because of Jonix.
What?
Yeah.
Yo, shout out, Coach. What's poppin'?
Yeah. So Jonix was like, I mean, I've posted that a million times. Like, like Jonix and I have, we've been at different gyms now for 10 years, but Jonix got me my first job in San Diego, so I always got to give Jonix props.
Sick, dude. Hell yeah. Dude, I love Coach. He's my coach. So that's tight as fuck. Wow.
Yeah, so that was 2009, and I was at Throwdown for a couple years, and then I moved to the arena in 2011.
Wow.
And then since then, I was already working with one of their guys who was going to the Ultimate Fighter, so I was already coaching him. So when I left Throwdown, it just made sense. I just went to that gym because I already kind of knew who was there. And then slowly but surely, I took over the amateur team kind of early because Chris Cope, the guy I was training, was running the amateur team, but he was still actively fighting and trying to train. So I was like, oh, I'll help you out. And then after that, basically ever since 2009, I've been running the fight team for the arena. Me and Coach Vince basically have been running it since 2010, 2011. It's been just us. Yeah.
Damn, 11 years. So 2010.
10 years.
12 years.
I got to the arena in 11. So I guess since like 2012, I guess we were really like full swing.
Okay, so 10 years.
Yeah.
Wow.
Running the amateur team, yeah. And then, just some of the amateurs became pros, and that's we have a lot of tough guys, but like most of the guys that we have started with us. And that's always been a point of pride for me, like cuz I always say if you give me a UFC fighter, I'll give you back a UFC fighter. It's easy. They're already in the UFC. What the fuck do I gotta do? Hold pads? It's fucking easy. Any asshole can hold pads for you, make you tired. Like, that's fucking stupid. Like I don't really get that much joy out of that. Really, I don't. But like we have guys that started with us when they were, like one of our guys, he actually moved away now, but he started with us. He was 17.
Wow.
He was 17. He became an amateur. He became an amateur champion. Then he became a professional. Like that, I'm always going to be more attached to those people. Versus someone comes in, they already got a bunch of fights, and they're like, "Hey, can you train me?" I'm usually like, "Sure, I guess." Like, why don't you just jump into practice?
Yeah.
I'm just how I am. Like I know it's weird, but I've always wanted to like develop people more than just attach my name to someone. Like jump on the bandwagon. I don't really like that shit.
Yeah, okay. That makes sense. Developing your fighters, you have that bond. I mean, it's something that when you describe to people that you train, or even like just sparring to people who are completely foreign to that life, people don't understand what it is that happens between two people when they're actually exchanging blows, or if you're doing jiu-jitsu and you're strangling somebody. For the most part, I feel that you become more attached to people that you begin these things with, or people that you just become a family in a sort, because you're training with them, and there's something that happens when you allow people to punch you in the face and you're not mad at them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, definitely.
Or get kicked by them or strangled by them, and it's a feeling that's, unless you've done it, you don't understand it. Yeah. So I can understand if you as a coach are helping those people develop and seeing that journey unfold, if you will, it can be, you're creating bonds that last a lifetime.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I think there's like, and also it's just amount of time. Like everyone's got like friends, like you got friends, you go out, you see each other on the weekends. Like we see each other every single day.
Yeah.
Like one of our guys, Alex, I've probably seen Alex 5-6 days a week for 9 years.
Damn.
Like just think about the amount of time, like the amount of time that you see them, like you see them every day. Like you see your friends on Saturday night, or you go see them whenever. But like me and Coach Vince, we've sat next to each other for 10 straight years. Like it's just the amount of time is insane.
Yeah.
Like how many days have we discussed this and that and this person and that person? All right, what do we got to work on with this person? Oh, fuck him. What do we got to work on with you just end up like, it's just like you just spend so much time with the people, and there is a certain bond that you have it used to be that this was a crazy thing to do.
Mm-hmm.
Like this is a ridiculous thing to do.
Still is.
No one should ever do this shit. It's super stupid. Right? But like, 10, 15, 20 years ago, if you saw somebody that trained, you were like, holy shit, man, you do this crazy thing that I do? No one does this. Yeah. And then basically The Ultimate Fighter, season 1, The Ultimate Fighter, shit blew up. Like that was 2005. Yeah, that was 2005. So after 2005, like the UFC was doomed. And then The Ultimate Fighter happened. And the shit exploded. And then everybody had UFC shirts, and everybody who had, like, they started, like, stylizing shirts. Usually you saw a shirt, it was because someone trained somewhere.
Oh, yeah.
Like, nobody was just randomly buying a jiu-jitsu shirt. What the fuck? Why would you do that? It's so weird. But now it's like it's a mainstream thing. You see actors doing it. You see famous people doing it, athletes. Everybody trains, it seems like. And especially here in Southern California, everyone trains.
Dude, I saw something it might have been on ESPN MMA or something like that, but Mario Lopez, fucking
AC Slater.
Yeah, AC Slater, from Saved by the Bell.
Yeah,
he's a blue belt.
Yeah.
And he took gold at his jiu-jitsu. It's like, could you imagine? I don't know how I'd feel if Mario Lopez tapped me. I mean, granted, he's a blue belt.
Fuck that.
Like, bro, you gonna let him tap you?
You let Slater beat you up, bro?
AC Slater just beat your ass.
I mean, I guess he was tough on the show, I guess. He wrestled. He was a wrestler on the show.
That makes sense.
Like, motherfucker still looks the same age.
Dude, he does.
He's a vampire, that fucking guy.
Dude, he really is. But he just keeps getting better looking. It's like, dude, how does that happen, bro? Like, what are you doing?
I hate that. I look like shit forever.
Dude. Okay.
When's it gonna be my time,
dude?
I look like shit.
I don't know. You always have like a fresh cut every time I've seen you.
No, I look like
the
dog
exception,
shit right
the
now.
exception with the now.
I'm getting a cut tomorrow because I'm recording some shit on Saturday.
Thank
so I'm getting
God we're not filming this. It's gross, really.
If I thought there was cameras, I would have done the shit right.
I'm just kidding.
I checked before I got here.
Dude. He asked me if we were filming.
I was like, man, we look at YouTube. See if they're fucking posting these things. I'm trying to look like shit on YouTube.
I'm just kidding.
I look like shit on Instagram all the time. My barber's like, bro, you got to stop posting them fucking videos if you don't have a fresh cut, man.
There you go. Dude, only shoot your videos on the day you get your fresh cut. Or maybe like 3 days after.
I'm a tan. I'm going to do a spray tan.
Dude.
I'm fucking
spray tan,
bro.
I'm not. I
I
guess
get my
I'll just
nails
say.
done.
Dude, my girlfriend had she put a fucking spray tan on to go to this wedding, and she was showing it to me. She doesn't look that bad, right? Like she's like, show me your arm, but then like I look in between her fingers, and there was like you could see where there was like the regular color of her skin and where the orange or whatever stopped, and I was just like pointing at it and laughing. I was like, oh my god,
It's so weird.
She's like, oh, don't look at that. It was super funny. Okay. Anyways, I digress. Okay, so I mean, we've kind of glanced over it, but you said you were just nomad life. You were training, but you did fight on?
Yeah, I fought very little, man. I was in the Navy when I fought MMA. I got hurt. And then I just didn't keep fighting. It wasn't something that I really like cared about, honestly. I didn't really care about competing. Even though I wanted to fight because I wanted to like see what it felt like. Because I've been in real fights. I know what fights feel like.
Oh yeah.
Like I've been in fights in the street, and I was like, that shit's chaos, you know. So I just wanted to do it as a sport. I would have preferred to fight more, but after I hurt my shoulder in an MMA fight in Washington, and then I kind of was not maybe the smartest about taking care of it. I just put it back into place myself, and then just tried to go back to training.
Well, hold on. Like dude, we need to unpack that a little bit right there, because I was telling you that I read your Instagram post about it. So you were in the cage.
That was a ring. That was a long time ago.
It was
like
a ring.
2005, 2004, 2005.
Okay, and so there was like a backstory behind it too, because he says you were only training at night after like 9 p.m. So it's like you're not even getting like adequate rest.
It was terrible. I was in the Navy. I was like literally getting to work every day at 7 a.m., getting out at 4 or 5, and then having to train. And then like the regular classes weren't really designed to train for a fight. Like it was my coach's place, and my coach was very good. He was very good, especially for the time and the area that we were in. He was way ahead of the game. But we were in a small area in Washington near the Navy base. He was very good, but the classes were just for regular people. It was like a martial arts school. So we did a bunch of different, like we did Muay Thai, we did submission wrestling, and we did stuff like that. But we also did like Filipino martial arts and Jeet Kune Do and all these other things. So like my specific fight training was at, after class. So we were training at 9 o'clock at night usually. Damn. And then, like I'd get the shit beat out of me, and then I'd be like, all right, go home. And it'd be like midnight, and I'd get up and do it all over again the next day. And I mean, honestly, in retrospect, if someone was working as much as I was, I'd be like, you probably shouldn't fight, dude. You don't have the amount of time to dedicate to this.
You already had a kid at that point, right?
Oh, yeah. I had a kid when I was 20.
20?
Yeah. My kid was born a week before my 21st birthday. Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah.
So
yeah. I was in the Navy already when my kid was born. I joined the Navy in 97, so I was 19.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, I was joined the Navy in 97. I got out in 2007. So
wow.
I was probably too busy to train as much as I should. I was learning a lot, but like actual live time and the way I think that you should train for a fight now, I was not doing that.
Yeah.
Again, the times were different. You don't know what the fuck we were doing. We were morons. So
yeah.
I was relatively tough, but I don't think that my training was as good as it should have been. But whatever, didn't matter. I didn't give a shit. And then I fought. We came out. We started exchanging punches, and it's a little blurry. I think I shot and he sprawled, or I hit him and entered for a takedown. He sprawled, and when I posted on the ground, my shoulder popped out of the socket. So I went to reshoot, but my arm was just kind of hanging there. And I was able to hook my hands kind of behind his knee, but only one of my arms. So he's throwing punches, and I'm like, oh shit, my arm's dead. And I'm like trying to move it, and it's just not moving. Right, so I put my hand on the ground and like sat out. So I think that like kind of popped it back into place. So I was able to sit out and then like play open guard, but I couldn't grab with my arm. It was just kind of dead. So I ended up taking a bunch of punches, and I'm telling the ref not to stop, and the ref's telling me you got to move, and my arm's dead. And they end up stopping the fight. I was all right. I mean, I was eating a bunch of punches, but I felt fine. And then fight was over. We get back to the locker room. I lift my arm and I put it back into place. Ooh. And then my coach was like, "What the fuck was that?" So I was like, "Oh, my shoulder was out." And he's like, well, why didn't you stop the fight? And I was like, fuck that, man. I'd rather just get my ass kicked than stop the fight. I was like, whatever. It's just punches. I've been punched before. I don't give a shit. Right? So I just kind of put my shoulder back in. And, I was upset, obviously, but I wasn't. I thought I'd be all right, So then we just, tape my arm to my body, and we went out drinking. That's what we did. We put ice on it. He taped it to my body, and we went out drinking. And then I remember having the discussion with my coach where we were like, it'll fucking heal, man. It'll be all right. And that was it. I
mean, essentially, yeah.
That was it. It'll be all right, So I just didn't really go to a doctor.
You didn't have the medic after the fight like we have now?
Nah, No, I put my arm back in, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna shower and be fucking sad, and then we're gonna go drink. Like watch the rest of the event and go drink.
Perfect.
So that's what we did. And then after that, it just kind of never got better. It like even jogging, it would like pop in and out of place.
Oh
like
my
it was
God.
just like there was nothing holding because my labrum was completely torn away, and that was probably from me putting it back in and all the other things. Like me trying to train after that. And then like a year later, I finally was like, okay, this shit is not getting better. Like I would like post and my arm would give out, things like that, where it felt like my arm was like not quite in the socket. So I went to a doctor, and then they were like, well, they did an MRI, and I was still in the Navy, so that probably wasn't well received by my chain of command, but I didn't care, whatever. Now, if you're in the military, you would have to route like special request. Like you'd have to ask for permission to fight, but then it wasn't really a thing. So nobody was like, who the hell would know what you were doing, like. Yeah. So then I had surgery on my shoulder, and I had 5 anchors put in to hold my labrum in place.
So what is an anchor? I did read that. I was curious.
So the labrum, like where your shoulder socket fits, it's like a ball and socket joint where your shoulder socket fits into the attachment, right? And there's a labrum is like it's like a wedge shaped piece of cartilage that kind of holds that socket in place, because the shoulder girdle, like where your hip, you have way more mobility of your shoulder than you do, because the socket where your hip goes is deeper, so it wraps around the head of the femur tighter. Where the head of the humerus goes, it's more shallow, so the labrum kind of holds the ball and socket in place. Yeah. Well, mine was completely torn away,
dude.
Right? So they had to attach it to the surface, so they had to like reattach my labrum all the way around, and that's what held my shoulder in place. So then after that, I was like, all right, well now I'm good, like I'll be fine now. I can train.
That's for life. The anchors.
Yeah, I don't know whether they dissolve. I don't know what the fuck happens. I don't know. Okay. But my range of motion kind of never. Like I still can't like. That's as far as my arm goes.
Like backwards and everything?
Yeah, like I can't scratch my back. Scratching my back is a thing of the past with my left arm.
You got one of those.
I'm
sticks?
all messed up. Yeah.
I got those too.
But everybody's had a million injuries. It's no different than anybody else. Mine just maybe was like I remember when I went back to get reevaluated, the surgeon that did my surgery was out of the Navy already, and then the other surgeon was like, "Well, it was too loose, right?" And I go, "Yeah." He goes, well, now it's way too tight, buddy. And I was like, what kind of answer is that, man? So he was like, well, we can go in there and loosen it.
Nah.
And I was like, well, what if you loosen it too much? He goes, then we'll have to go back in and tighten it. And I was like, that sounds ridiculous. I was like, and I was like, would you do that if it was your shoulder? And he was like, nope. I was like, well, then I'm not going to do that.
Yeah.
He was like, okay, cool. So my shoulder's just fucked up. It's fine. I don't care. Whatever.
Thanks, Doc.
Yeah, whatever. Like thanks for the feedback.
Oh my goodness.
But yeah, I mean that was relatively trivial. I'm glad I fought. Whatever. I wish I would have fought more, but I don't give a shit really.
Hey, man,
like teaching was always the thing that I liked doing. Mm-hmm. And I had already started teaching classes by 2005. I was already teaching once a week, and that was basically just because my coach was like, "Hey man, on Thursdays you teach now."
It's like, okay.
And I was like, "What do you want me to teach?" He was like, "I don't care." He's like, because I want to go home on Thursdays, so I want you to teach. And I was like, but what should I teach? He's like, you know more than the other people in class, so figure it out. And I was like, all right.
You've had definitely blunt people in your
he
life.
was like, here's the key to the gym. So now you and Jacob teach on Thursdays. And I was like, all right, man. So after I had the shoulder surgery, I remember he came to my house, and I was like I was on Oxycontin for the first couple of days. So I was like, dude, I'll be training in a few weeks.
Yeah.
And then the Oxycontin ran out, and I was like, this is some bullshit. I'm never going to use this fucking arm again. This arm is done forever. And he came to my house, and he was like, oh, you'll be all right, man. Same thing he said before. And I was like, yeah, I'll be all right. And he was like, so what days are you going to teach? And I was like, bro, I can't use my arm.
Yeah.
Like, at all. And he was like, you still teach.
I mean, technically, you got legs. I mean, you could teach Muay Thai.
Yeah, I mean, he was right. He was like, just use 2 other people to demo. He was like, he's like, what are you going to do? You're not going to train? And I was like, well, no, I have to do something. He was like, so then you're going to teach. That's what you'll do. So he's like, so what days are you teaching? And I was like, okay. Yeah. So I started teaching, I started teaching in earnest, but I always liked teaching. Like that was always something I enjoyed doing. I'm like a martial arts nerd. So I like organizing material. I like writing curriculums. I like planning lessons. Like that's kind of what I like to do. So like I'm always like taking information and being like, okay, what's the best way of putting this out? Well, all right, what if we did this first? Like I didn't like the way that went. What if? So for me, I was just like, okay, cool. And then a couple years after that, 2007, I got out of the Navy, And I was like, well, this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna figure it out. I'm just gonna do this. And that was a kind of probably a pivotal point, because I was where I was working on shore duty. When I was in the Navy, I worked with I was a missile technician.
Really?
Yeah. So
Wow.
so I worked with the missiles, the nuclear missiles that are launched from submarines. Right. So I was on a submarine, and that was my job, was working with nuclear missiles. Yeah.
You were on the submarine?
Yeah, I was on a submarine. Yeah. Yeah, that was a submarine rate. So when I was on shore duty, which was basically like a command where you can where you service the submarines, you take missiles off, you put, you're just kind of a service place, but you're a storage unit for all the weapons, right? So right away, I was on my way out. Everybody knew I was getting out. I was already in E6. I was going to get out. Everybody knew it. And the hiring guy from Lockheed Martin was like, "Hey, Chuck, I haven't gotten your resume yet." And I was like, "Well, I haven't. I'm not going to give you a resume." He was like, "What are you talking about?" I was like, "Nah, I'm just going to get out. I'm not going to work here." And I remember it so clearly. His name was Gus Bronson. He goes, "Bro, I'm going to give you a job here." He's like, "You're qualified everything. I'm going to give you a job, and you're going to make a lot of money." And I remember going, "Nah, man, I'm going to get out and teach martial arts and be poor."
That's what you said?
Yeah.
Wow.
I was like, "I'm going to be poor and teach martial arts." And he was a real old school black dude. He goes, "That's the dumbest shit I ever heard, son." And I was like, "That's what I'm going to do, man. I'm going to figure it out." I was like, "I'm going to get out, and I'm going to find a way to teach martial arts." I was like, "That's all I'm going to do." And he was like, "That's fucking stupid." He goes, You're going to start at X number of dollars." And I was like, "I don't give a fuck. I'm just going to figure it out."
Yeah.
And that's what I did.
That's so dope.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's like now it sounds way cooler than it did at the time. At the time, it sounded so fucking stupid.
Of course.
But
that's what makes it so dope. I mean, that's what makes you you. That's part of your story. That's part of your journey. So that's why you're on the show right now. And I didn't even know that about you, but that's what I'm saying is like you automatically just fit. I felt like I'm a big believer in things are put in front of you for a reason. People are put in front of you, whatever you want to, like energy, universe, whatever. I'm a big believer in that. And so like without even really knowing your story, just because of how things have happened and how I've come to meet you anyways, and the connections, I was like, oh, of course, it's going to be fine. And then it's just like, boom, right there. It's like, dude, that story right there, people not really believing in you, people telling you like, you're fucking dumb kind of thing, or like, or whatever, is exactly why I do this and what Caffeine Green is. I mean, my English teacher, Mr. Awad, when I was in sophomore year in English, we had this thing, it was called like the iSearch project or something like that. And it was basically about a job that you were going to do as a profession when you got older. I wanted to be a professional skateboarder, hands down. And that's what I did. I did for a living for a very long time. But my teacher, I'll never forget this. I went up to him and I said, "Okay, here's the pros I want to interview. Here's everything I'm going to do about it." He said, "This is not a job. You're not going to be able to do this as your research project." I was like, "What do you mean?" No, it's a job. I know professional skateboarders. This is a job. No, it's not a job. And he wouldn't let me do it. And I think I did it on being a teacher, actually. Yeah. But yeah, I mean,
I said this the other day. There's never been a time when you could just create a job more so than now.
Of course.
Like you could do damn near anything and find a way to make money. People do it all the time.
TikTok people who dance.
Yeah, there's motherfuckers that do anything and somehow make money. Like you could say like, that's stupid. Like they're getting paid.
Exactly.
They're
what
getting
does
paid,
it matter?
and and if you can live to the standard that you want to live, doing X, Y, or Z, whatever it is, then who am I to say how you're supposed to? I don't give it. Cool, man. Cool. Like
Dude.
I hate to be a hater. Like I don't want to be a hater, man. I don't want some people got stupid fucking ideas, and I'm like, that's a stupid fucking idea. Whatever, man. Maybe it'll work, I guess. And then all
of a sudden it takes off and it's viral. It's like, what the fuck?
You're like, wow, I can't believe that idiot found a way to make it work. But they believed it was going to work.
That's
100%. That's all it takes.
You have to believe in yourself, bro. 100%.
All it takes is I live by the I'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Like principle, I'll figure it out. I've always been able to figure it out. I've never not been able to figure it out. So I guess I got to figure it out.
You know what's crazy? I was talking to my girlfriend yesterday, and I went and took her coffee, and I knew I got this pretty important email right before I went to go see her, and then I was like, I know I'm gonna do it, but I have to go see her. I'm gonna tell her about it, and then I'm just gonna do it. And so as soon as I told her about it, she's like, I don't really have anything to offer on this. Like, you're gonna do it? And I was like, yeah, I'm gonna do it. She's like, okay, then do it. That's, okay.
Probably the best thing she could have offered.
That's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
It's like she's very blunt in the sense where she's like, it's almost like staunch, right? She's just like, I don't know anything about this subject, so I don't have anything to offer on the subject. But if you feel good about it, then yes, do it. And it's like, that's the type of shit that like I love. I don't know, dude. It's just, you have to figure it out. You got to do it. Just like you said, like you're going to figure it out. Like there's things that happen every single day. I need this amount of money, or I need this. That's been my latest challenge, is fundraising. And then somehow I feel like, oh, I need to do this. It's like, oh, actually, no, I came up with that. It's like, oh, okay, cool. Holy shit. How did that happen? You know? And then it's like, like, oh, what the fuck? How did you just pull that out of your ass? You think you can't do it, and then all of a sudden you're just like, you're moving things, and then boom, then there it is. It's like, oh, fuck. Like,
yeah, things always seem to happen right when they're supposed to. Not when you think they're supposed to.
Yep.
Like sometimes you're like, it should happen right now because of just by sheer force of will. I want it to. Like, well, that's not always how it works, bro. Like, if that's the case, I'd be doing much better than I'm doing, bro, honestly. But
yeah,
it'll happen when it's supposed to happen.
But here's
or it
another
won't.
thing. Oh,
And you'll figure it out.
And you fail, and you figure it out, and you learn.
Either that's not a good idea or I didn't do it right. Okay. I'll figure it out, you know?
You got to figure it out. But are you happy, though?
Yeah. Yeah, that's all that matters,
dude. And that's really all that matters.
And a lot of that is precedent. Like it's like what makes you happy. Like what makes you happy. Like if this is what makes you happy, then and you only do that when you get the chance, and you fill all your time with something just to make money, and then you live for the weekend. Like I can't live for the weekend, man. I can't. I got to do something every day. I got to be. If I hate every single day. Mm-hmm. And I hope that I can go out Saturday and fuck that. Yeah. I'll quit my job. I'll do it, like I'll do whatever it is I got to do to not live like that. Like I always be like, shit, man, we could be doing data entry, man. You know, like I'm not doing data entry. I'm not sitting just typing into boxes, man. I'll kill myself. Like I'm just, yeah, man, I'm not doing it, man. I'd rather move boxes than type, like
same.
Yeah.
I mean, I love computers, and like a lot of the things that I do now, especially for Epic, revolve around computers. I mean, when I was in Tahiti, we were talking about that. I mean, we still need to get into that. But when I was in Tahiti, people were so funny. We're just saying like, oh, man, you were living that life, doing that thing. Like, oh, it's so cool. And it's like, don't get me wrong, super grateful that I went to Tahiti. I mean, I had to remind myself all the time, there's people who will never make it here and want to go here for their like one place in the world,
Yeah, it's like their dream place.
Their dream vacation.
Yeah, and you're there.
I'm there, and I'm like concerned about, I need to upload this footage, and I need to do this, and it's like my perspective was off, and I knew it was off, or perspective, perception, whatever. But I did have to reflect on things like, dude, holy shit, you're in paradise right now. This is super amazing, and then you get to like go to Moorea and all these things. But
that ride to Moorea,
dude,
when you're on that ferry and you're like, damn, that island's dope. And they said that one's even nicer.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Yeah. I was tripping. That was one of the days I didn't have to like really, work too much. But yeah, every day was work, bro. And it was so crazy to be typing into boxes. Yeah. To just be sitting here. And Jason and his family would go do some stuff sometimes, or like I would just be working. Like wake up in the morning, boom, and I'm uploading footage, doing this, blah, 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 blah. And then it's like edit footage, boom, boom, boom. And then go film the team. And it's just like, you're typing into a box in the middle of paradise right now. Like, you got to, remember that why you're here. But it's also, again, to your point where you just said is, dude, when things work out and you are doing exactly what you're supposed to be doing when you're supposed to do it, because, oh, my God, you got into fighting, and now you're in Tahiti because you got involved in fighting. And it's just like, how did this all happen?
Ridiculous, yeah.
I have to remind myself that all the time, or ask. I'm like, how the fuck did you get here? Like,
bro, I didn't have a passport. I never had a passport. Like, I never thought I'd need a passport, to be honest with you. Right? My first time I ever got a passport was because I had to go corner a UFC fight in Birmingham, England.
Really?
That's why I got a passport.
Who was it?
Chris Cope. Chris Cope was on season 14 of The Ultimate Fighter, and I coached him leading up to it. He ended up making it to the semis, and he was going to fight Che Mills in Birmingham, England. And he was like, hey, man, you need to get a passport. I was like, all right. Like, since then, I've been to Russia a couple of times. I've been to London. I've been to England a couple of times. Went to Uruguay. I've been to Japan. Like, just for fights. Like, you just get on a plane and you're like, all right, I'm going somewhere. And you get there and you're like, I hope someone picks us up, man.
Yeah.
I hope someone's at the airport, you know?
Trying to find Rahere's house the first day was complicated.
He picked me up from the airport. I wasn't finding anything.
With Jason too.
Yeah.
Like Jason, I love Jason. And Jason, if you listen to this, that is not throwing shade at you, but just if you know Jason, and it's like, okay, like this is gonna be an adventure, and sure enough, it's a fucking adventure.
Bro, I've been to Hede's house. There's no street signs. There's no like, you just have to know where it is.
They don't
like,
have addresses out there.
Yeah, like
no,
there's no way you could just find it. That's insane.
It's like they have a PO box.
A lot of dogs.
Dude,
dogs everywhere.
Yeah, like the best one. The best thing is on the side of the road is like the poulet frites. Like that dude, there was like a we had an Airbnb like the first couple of days, and there was like an uncle. Like uncle was just opening up the side of his house, and like frites. It's like fries, and then he's like grilling up chicken in the back. It's essentially his house, and just slinging it to you for a couple euros or francs, whatever it was. And okay, so we just walked back across the street to our place, and we're sitting there, and it's like some bomb ass chicken fries.
Yeah.
Like, dude, what the fuck? It's like just the homie's house, and we tell Rahere, like, we're giving him like landmarks. Okay, if you go to like, I think it was like Chez Vous or something like that was the name of it. I was like, yeah, that's the spot that's right across the house. He's like, oh, I know that spot. He's like, yeah, I'll be there.
Nice. Yeah.
Dude, yeah, but
Tahiti's dope, man. Tahiti's dope. I can't wait to go back, honestly. That's a trip that I went there and taught a seminar years ago. Maybe, I don't know, 5 years ago, something like that, 5 or 6 years ago. When those guys first started coming around, I knew this dude, Fareed. Fareed Ketter was a judo Olympian, and he just came into our gym. Like, I had actually helped a couple guys train to fight him. So
wow.
Yeah, so when he came into the gym, like I was like, hey, what's up, bro? What's your name? And he said it. He had this heavy French accent, so the shit sounded like, and I was like, all right, bro, what the fuck that means? All right, nice to meet you, bro. You know, like, nice to meet you, bro. And like, yeah, like, I don't fucking know what your name.
Yourself.
Yeah, I was like, cool, bro. Fuck that guy's name. I don't know anybody's name. I'm a fucking idiot. So, like, I'm just not good with names. People tell me their names, and it's like, as they say it, it's like something covers my eyes, and I'm like, shit, I missed it. Now, well, I'm not gonna ask now. He just said it. But then I got to talking to him, and he was like, oh, I went to, you know, he was a judo Olympian. He was a really good judo guy. Like, he came in 4th at one Olympics, and then the next one he had won Worlds, so he was expected to win, and he got hurt, so he started fighting MMA.
Oh wow!
And he just knew these Tahitian dudes, you know. So they came to meet him, and you know they came to the gym, and it was Here, I believe Here and Teiki, and maybe Tamahau, but definitely Here. Here was definitely the first one, and Maori James. James is he was a Maori dude, so he had half his face tattooed.
Oh, jeez.
And he's got a twin brother who has the other half of his face tattooed.
Really?
Yeah. So they pretty much only had kickboxing there.
Yeah, that's what you're saying.
You know, they were all kickboxers. So he came and, you know, they trained because they knew Farid. So they were like, you know, they just came and trained. And then they asked me, they were like, can you get us fights? And I was like, yeah, I mean, sure, I can get anybody a fight. Look, yeah. I've you know, an amateur fight? Yeah, I've been to every single epic. I think I missed 2 epics over the years.
Damn, really?
Yeah, I've been to probably 45 of the 48. I think I've been to almost all of them.
Holy shit.
I counted at one point, and I've cornered over 100 fights at Epic.
Wow.
Just Epic fights. Yeah. Yeah. Wow. So since like I was going to Epic before I was even at the arena, I went with Jonix to corner somebody for like Epic 2. You know, like right at the beginning. What? Yeah.
Wow.
So I was like, yeah, amateur fights, no problem. I can get you guys fights. And it like blew their mind. They were like, seriously? I was like, yeah, man, if you want to fight, just tell me that you want to fight.
Yeah.
So then I got a couple of them fights, Here, Tamahau, and James, and they fought at Epic. And then, you know, they left. They came a couple weeks early. They trained, and then they left, and then they came back. It was like, oh, the next Epic is in. They came back a few weeks early, and then it was like 2 new guys and Here. And then the next time it was like 3 new guys and Here and Tamahau. You know, and then like just over the years, like they just kept showing up, and he kept bringing new people and bringing new people. So finally, my current wife, my girlfriend at the time, I was like, listen, we got to go to Tahiti, man. And it's expensive to go to Tahiti. It's not cheap to go to Tahiti. Yeah. And I was like, fuck it, let's go. You know, so we bought tickets, and Here was like, yeah, come down. I'll set up a seminar. And this is a long time ago. There was, I don't know, 30 people at the seminar, 35 people at the seminar. It was a lot. I was like, holy shit, there's a lot of people here. And they met us at the airport. It was funny because I didn't know where I was staying. I was staying with Here. Right? So like I get to, you know, customs, and the lady's like, where are you staying? I was like, I don't know. Oh fuck, Tahiti. I hope like I'm here, so hopefully I'm staying here. And she's like, oh, just write the person's name who you're staying with. So I wrote right here, dudes. And she takes it and she goes, oh, for MMA. And I was like, yeah. And I told my wife, I was like, yo, this like Head is like the first person to ever fight MMA in Tahiti. I was like, so it's like, going to be a big deal that we're here. And of course, she's like, shut up, stupid.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm telling you, the shit's going to be a big deal, man. Like, they're going to, like, I was talking shit. I didn't think it was really going to be a big deal, right? I'm just like, I'm telling you, I'm fucking famous around here, bro. You don't know, right? I'm just talking shit. I'm
You
just
gotta
like,
act like you know
I'm
something.
like, yo, like, you don't know about me. I'm famous down here, like, I'm just talking shit. And then, like, we come out where, like, the baggage claim, and there's, like, 30 people there, like, screaming, and they're putting, like, beads on us, and, like, the shell necklaces. And my girl's like, what the fuck? I was like, I told you I'm famous around here. You don't know about me. I'm fucking famous. Right? So now I'm talking shit now. And Head is laughing. He goes, there's some, like, French actor or something like that on the same flight as you. He's like, people thought we were here for him. He was like, we were here for you. And I'm like, that's funny, man. That's real funny. So then they took us around. We stayed with Hede. We stayed with Tamaha. We went one night to Maria and stayed with Teva's family. Like, they had a house over in Maria. So that, the whole time leading up to it, my girl's saying she wants to go swim with stingrays. And I keep screaming about the fucking crocodile hunter. I'm like, yo, the crocodile hunter got killed by a stingray, bro. What are you talking about? Like, they kill people. And she's like, stingrays don't kill people. I was like, they killed the fucking crocodile hunter, and he's way harder than us. Like, he's way harder. He fucking wrestled crocodiles. He got killed by a bitch-ass stingray. Right? And she's like, no. So I tell them, like, yo, she wants to swim with stingrays. I'm like, I'm not doing it, but she wants to do it.
Yeah.
And literally, we were on Maria, and this kid, Teva's father, he was a real nice guy. He was like, oh, we'll go in the morning. He goes, you see where all those boats are? There's like a bunch of, like, tourist boats out there. He goes, we'll go in the morning before they get there. And in the morning, we get up, and we jump on his boat. We go over there. He ties off to just some buoy, and we just jump off. And we're standing up to our chest, and he has like a piece of fish, puts it in the water. 1 million stingrays, just stingrays all over the place. Like, you're touching them, like they're eating out of your hand. It was insane. And then these little black tip sharks are swimming all around us. And I was like, yo, I can't believe this is a real place.
Oh yeah.
Like, the color of the water, because of that atoll color where it changes, where it gets. And I was like, what the fuck? Like, it just doesn't seem like a real place.
Yeah, dude, I had similar experiences. I mean, I'm sure, like, Claude, you met Claude, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So Claude, had you been to their house?
No.
So Claude, we got to, like, go to, dude, we saw Tahana's room, like the room she grew up in.
Nice.
And, like, she had
Nice.
like all the, like, the little things, like all the, like, the cute things you do for, like, your kids and shit. But it was so funny because, like, we stayed at their house, and then right across the street from their house, it's like you go down their alleyway and you, like, go to that street. It's like the 2-lane street, and you cross it, and they have, like, this other house, but it's right on the water. So we walked over there, and it was like our last day in town, or my last day for the trip. So it's like Sunday. We're like, we're drinking, we're eating, we're having a good time, chilling. The first thing I do when I walk out on the dock, dude, there's just the biggest stingray. And I'm just literally just standing there looking at it like, holy shit, that's insane. Now, she's like, guys, look at this stingray. Little kid inside, just not, oh my God, look at this. Like, not even quiet about it. It was so insane. But then there's, like, eels in their backyard kind of thing. It's like this little pool thing they have on the side of the house. There's eels in there, like 6 of them. Like, wildlife like crazy out there.
It's so crazy. Yeah.
But dude,
it's so crazy. I think the second day we were there, Tamaha was a guy that came. He came here a bunch of times. He stayed here for a long time. I think he used to do tours of, like, the internal part of Tahiti. Yeah. Which is, like, completely uninhabited. Nobody lives in there. It's just jungle. Whoa. Right? So they were like, hey, we're going to go show you, like, the place that nobody really goes. Yeah. So we're like, all right, cool, and then, like, we just drive up, like, a regular ass road, and then you just, like, hey, stop at the store, we're gonna get drinks. I'm like, oh, cool. And then we just make a right, and that's it, man. We're in the middle of the island. Like, there's, like, one dirt road driving us in, and it's the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. It's like Jurassic Park. Mm-hmm. Like, it's Jurassic Park, and they're like, we're going to this thing, and I'm like, how the fuck do they know where we're going? Yeah. Because there's no markers or anything. They just know where to go. And we drove past, like, 10 wild boars. Like, they're just walking across the street, and I'm like, what the and then we get to something, and there's, like, a couple waterfalls, and we jump in the water. I was like, how is this? Like, I was taking pictures, like, how is this Earth?
Yeah.
You know, like, what am I doing with my life? Like, this is where you guys live? Like, regular life? It's crazy, yeah. And they're very welcoming, nice people. They're super thankful. They're just happy, you know, they're happy to, like, share whatever they have with you. You know, like, hey, we got fish, you got fish.
Yeah.
You know, like, they're just cool people. Yeah, they've always been really respectful, really thankful. They come, they train hard. They knew that coming here was, like, an opportunity. You know, like an opportunity to learn things that they didn't have. They were already good kickboxers. They didn't really, I mean, it was more like learning MMA, learning, you know, how do I not get taken down? What do I do when I'm on the ground? What do I do here? What do I do there? And, you know, I mean, they're all pretty good athletes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, like
really
really good athletes. Like those kids, they have six packs when they're kids, I think. Like, they all have six packs. It's amazing, yeah. But, you know, so they would come for a few weeks and just train and train. They'd train twice a day. They would just take the information back. And you can see the influence. Like, you know, Henry also, you mean Henry from Maria?
Yeah.
Yeah, so Henry also, because Henry goes to New Zealand a lot, so he's always adding stuff. Like, like that whole conglomeration of, like, that original crew, and now they have students. And, you know, like, that whole, like, progression of the sport there has been really crazy. Like, it's really crazy. It went from a sport that was completely illegal.
Yep.
Like, couldn't fight MMA to now, like, we just had, 10 or 11 of them fight, 12 of them fight.
Yeah,
something like that.
Something
at Epic,
like that.
You know?
I think it was like 10. I think, but that was I mean, even that we didn't even touch on that yet. I mean, dude, I just have to say too. I mean, to your point, it was so funny when we were on Maria. I didn't know that's exactly how you felt about it, but when we were driving and around Maria, Jason was driving the van or whatever, and I just had my phone out the window and I was just sitting there with everybody that was in the van. I was like, bro, this looks like Jurassic Park. It's fucking crazy. Verbatim.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I thought. And Maria was, it was incredible. Like,
yeah, Maria like blew me away.
Yeah.
Like,
same.
it blew me away. Because in Tahiti, like, at least when you're driving down the roads, you see houses and you're like, okay, this island is pretty heavily inhabited.
Yeah.
Maria, it wasn't like that. It was just like a row of houses by the water and then just
A couple of nice hotels and then
that's it.
That's it. Yeah.
That's it, you know, and I didn't even see the whole island, you know, like, it was just like a little bit more untouched, you know, like a little bit more like raw.
There's still, when we were driving around that island, you could drive around it in like a couple hours.
Yeah.
It's super chill. But what was so funny is that there's literally nothing out there still. And there's just groups of people, and they were just getting drunk and high on the side of the street.
Nice.
Like, it was just that. It was like, it was Friday, whatever day we were there. It was like, I think we went there Wednesday or Thursday. It was like Thursday afternoon, and they're all just kind of sitting there. They have like all of them had these huge JBL boom boxes, and they would just be playing music.
Classy. I like that shit.
Dude, it was super sick. I loved it. I mean, we went out one day. That was like on a tour, and it was some locals that showed us around. I mean, dude, open water, cruising through open water, and then all of a sudden they're like, we're slowing down, and then there's like people just like basically kind of like floating in the ocean, but they're all standing and they're like partying, and it's just a white sandbar right there off the coast of the island, and we just ate lunch and just like we're jumping in the water and just chilling, and it's like you could literally go and it'll just be like fall off, and it's back to open water.
Ocean. Yeah, open water, yeah.
It's like, dude, what is going on out here?
We did the last day that we were in Maria. I think it was the last day we were in Maria. We woke up early. We went and fucked with them stingrays. Right? We fucking wrestled a stingray. I tried to grab a fucking little black tip shark. Couldn't grab it.
Give them like a drop of people's elbow for
excellent
the crocodile
swimmers.
hunter.
Yeah, they're excellent swimmers. I slapped a stingray. I was like, you know what you did, bro. You know what you did.
That was your homie, huh?
Yeah.
For playing with me.
And then they were like, oh, we're gonna take all the stuff and go over there. I was like, what's over there? They were like, it's just like a little sandbar, private beach area, and it was just right off the coast. Like, it's just like, you know, you take the boat and you go over there, and like one person's on a stand-up paddleboard, somebody else is in a canoe with like plexiglass on the bottom, and then we just went over there, and they like yeah, right here, and they set up chairs, and we like had drinks, and I was like, what is this? They're like, it's just a little place with some trees and some sand.
Yeah, it's mellow.
Oh, like it's like a private beach. They were like, yeah, kind of. Nobody comes here. And it's just a little piece of land with some trees on it. And I'm like, oh, so you guys just come over here and chill? And like I think somebody was a couple people were stand-up paddleboarding. We got in the canoe, me and my girl. We just kind of rode off, and you could see you could see all the coral under you. You could see a million. I had never been snorkeling because I'm a city person and I don't really like wildlife. I don't really fuck with nature like that, right? I don't I like concrete and shit. Right? I don't like a whole lot of nature, anything that can kill me. I don't really like that kind of shit. Okay. I don't camp. Fuck all that. But fuck all that shit is scary, bro. I'm scared of animals. I like dogs. I like dogs.
I get it.
Even cats. Chill out, bro. Like, don't get too aggressive. I'll punch you. And I'm like looking at like, so I'm like, I'm gonna snorkel, right? And my girl's like, you've never been snorkeling? And I was like, no. And she goes, the first place you're ever gonna snorkel is Tahiti. And I was like, oh, I guess. She was like, where the hell else are you gonna snorkel? Yeah. She's like, this is it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, literally just like every type of color fish you could imagine is just swimming around right up to your face. And I'm like, what the fuck is going? Like, how is this real? Like, there was a lot of situations when I was there that I was like, how is this real? Like, how did that dopey fucking karate school that I started at in 1996 get me here?
Same.
Yeah, like how, like I started at a karate school because the guy had a cool mustache and he was like, I teach stuff you can use in a bar fight. And I had already seen the first UFC, so I was like, bitch, that's what I'm trying to learn. Damn. Right? Like I watched UFC 1. I was like, this is it.
Yeah.
This is the greatest thing I've ever seen in my life, you know? So like I was always like after that, you know, like I was still in high school, so I was always looking to train, and then I was at some karate school. Then I was in a Kyokushin school, and then I finally found my old coach. So I was like, all right, now I'm really training like MMA, because we're training all the parts that make MMA. So like, I can't believe that dumb shit got me to that point. You know, like I think about it every time we go do something. Like I'm you know, like we're gonna go to Hawaii for Bellator, and I was like, I can't. I've been to Hawaii I think 3 times, but once was only for like we stopped for a few hours. I've never gotten to Hawaii on an airplane. I've only gone on a submarine. So, what? Yeah, I've never been to Hawaii on an airplane. I've only gone there on a submarine. Damn. So like I was like, oh, I'm gonna go to Hawaii, and I was like, I've been to Hawaii, and then I thought about it. I was like, well, I've never flown to Hawaii. I've only like come up from a submarine and then like walked on the pier, and I was like, all right, I'm in Hawaii. Like that's weird.
That's Hawaii. Are you going to Oahu?
Yeah.
Okay. If you need anything out there, dude, I got the spots. I've spent a lot of time in Hawaii over the last 10 years. I went like 2 to 3 times a year for the last 10 years.
Nice.
So I got you.
Nice. Yeah, we're going there for Bellator. That'll be fun. You know, and we'll be in the bubble for the week before the Bellator, but I'm gonna stick around.
They're super gnarly about that.
Yeah, I'm gonna stick around. Like my wife's gonna meet me out there. Like I think she's gonna get there Friday because the fight is Friday. So I'm gonna stay there till like Wednesday just to actually have the vacation.
Yeah.
Because if we're going to Hawaii anyway, I'm not just gonna sit in the hotel, corner the fight, and then get back on a plane. Fuck that. So we're just gonna come back a few days later. It'll be fun.
Yeah, I mean, dude, it's exactly Tahiti, but American.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it is. Tahiti's the French version of Hawaii, and Hawaii is just the American version. That's all it is. Because that's what was tripping me out when I was out there. Somebody was asking me when I came back, you know, how would you describe Tahiti? And I was like, it's Hawaii but French. And instead of people walking around with I don't know, zippies or whatever other shit out there, just like good ass food that they have that's Hawaiian, replace that with baguettes and Nutella. Like that's what you see. You see Polynesians walk around with big ass baguettes, and I was just,
God bless them.
This is such a
God
trip,
bless them,
dude,
bro. You're just carrying a baguette. Good for you,
dude.
Bro.
It was like it was everywhere, and it was. You have the croquettes, and you have like all the croissants, and you have all these things, because that was the other thing too. Is that like when I met Tahana Hana and I met Rahere, and even their sisters and their family, I would like, you know, bonjour, je m'appelle Kano, and like, you know, ça va, or like enchanté, just like basic stuff. And they're like, do you speak French? And I was like, no, I don't speak French. But they're like, oh, your accent's good though. And I was like, I lived in France for a very short time. I was supposed to be there for a year, but I lived in Aix-en-Provence in the south of France.
Nice.
When I was like 17, and I actually spoke French from like 13 or 14 years old to basically the time up until like shortly after I came back from France. So I was like probably till 18, so like 5 years. So, but I haven't spoken it since. But I was trying to remember like basic things, and it was just super fun to be there and kind of, I don't know, it was fucking dope because you're not in France, you know.
Yeah,
like,
it's really cool.
But it's Polynesian, and it's French Polynesia, so it was super rad to kind of see the vibe. Much to your point of how thankful they are, it was a lot like Hawaii, in my opinion.
Yeah,
the ohana of the family, and like they also have a lot of the same things. Like I asked Rahere about it, was about the mana. You know, to the Polynesians here, pull power from the land the way that they do in Hawaii. And that was always one of my favorite things about Hawaii, was the stories and the mythology and I forgot the name of the goddess of Hawaii. But I was like Pele, but I don't think it's Pele. It's something like that. But they have all this, how do you put it, mythology, but then also these stories that make these people larger than life, and mysticism almost.
Yeah.
And I wanted to know if they had the same thing on Tahiti. And Rahede was like, oh yeah, like he took us to a spot where you harness your mana either before your battle or after the battle. And it was so good. And it was just a natural, the island created this thing where it's just blasting water in you, and it's just super crystal clear water, and it's clean, and you're just getting blasted by this thing. It's like, but there's no like a pump or nothing there that's like there's any reasoning why this would be happening. It's just a natural thing.
Yeah, that's so cool.
They're
They're way more connected to the earth.
Oh hell yeah!
Like most indigenous people are more connected to the earth than like settlers. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
like
100%.
like you're just like no. We like I remember Max Holloway when I met him when he was really young, and we were talking about Hawaii because I said I had only been there with the Navy. And he's like, "Oh, bro, fucking Navy," you know, like it's like the Navy guys are pieces of shit most of the time when they get to Hawaii because they're like they just want to party.
Yeah, that's when they like scrap.
Yeah, and he's like, "Bro, we grew here. You flew here.
Yeah, always.
You know, we grew
always,
here.
Yeah.
And it's true.
Yeah,
it's like your land, like you're like it's part of you. You know, and I think you see that in a lot of the Pacific Island cultures, and a lot like you see it in Chamorros from Guam. You see it in the French Polynesians. You see it in Hawaiians. You see it in like all of them, you know, you see it in the Samoans, you see like that, like
the Tongans,
you see like that connection to like the earth and the connection to each other and like the whole, like it's a beautiful thing. It really is. It's a beautiful thing. It's like they're connected, not just with their immediate group, but with the earth, through the earth, with everyone else. Like it's like a recharging battery that's like going through the people and the earth and through the people and the earth. You know, it's like you were saying about energy, like I always tell my girl, I'm like, yeah, it's fucking hippie nonsense, you know, because she's a fucking like hippie nonsense, you know, but I'm like that too, except I just won't say it because I'm too pragmatic, you know, but like I always say, like, you ever walk into a place and immediately you're like, not good in here. Yeah. Nope. Don't like it. Mm-hmm. If you're not aware of that, there's something wrong with you, because you walk into a place sometimes and you're like, this is not good. This energy is not good. Or you just meet someone and you're like, fucking, what is it about this guy, man? I hate this guy. Like, there was, I mean, I hate most people. So it's like for me, when I say that, people are like, bro, you say that about everybody. I'm like, nah, there's something wrong with this guy.
Yeah, there's actually
something
wrong
like,
with this guy.
I think people are trash, but like this guy's something wrong with him, you know? And then inevitably someone eventually is like, yeah, something wrong with that guy. And I'm like, I told you, bro, it's energy.
I've been feeling that way.
It's
for
energy,
a minute.
man. You know, like, and then some people you just click with, you know, some people are like, yeah, that guy's all right, man. Yeah. And that's it, you know, like, I don't know what that is. I can't explain that, but it's true. Yeah. You know, that's why like when I, you know, the epic, the recent epic with all the Tahitians, if I wasn't in the corner, I would sit right behind the cage, like right behind them, because I feel protective of them, you know, because I started headed, and you know, like they all fought for us at some point. So even their students, like, I don't really talk to them that much, but I want them to win. I feel protective of them. I want them to do good because I've seen where they're at, and I know like how much it means to them, and that's why, even though I don't want to go out there for 11 fights on the same night, man. I want to sit in the back. But every fight, I'd go walk there'd be another person waiting, and I'd be like, all right, grab the bucket. I'll go back out with you. You know, just because I want to be there and see them do well. Yeah.
And it was good. I mean, honestly, out of, 10? We have to figure out the number of how many fights there were. But out of all of them, I think only, 2 of them lost? 3 of them?
Yeah, I think they were 7-3 or 6-3. Yeah.
Something like that.
And a couple of them were the juveniles, and I don't really like the juvenile scoring that much. You know, but
it's super interesting. Yeah, but whatever. I mean, like the MMA ones were good.
Yeah, you know, they fought well. And Tahana, she fights well, man. Like, it's funny, like the things that she did. Like when I came in the cage after her fight, I was like, "You won that," because I knew she won it. You know, I was like, "You won that fight." I was like, "If they don't give you that fight," I go, "They're wrong," because she was pressed against the cage, but she did all the damage. Right, so effective striking and damage and trying to finish the fight should be scored more highly than cage control.
Yes, I mean, like, I was watching the fight, obviously. Like, that was the fucking, I was like, I'm not missing this fight. I don't care what happens.
Yeah.
Somebody literally would had to have been dying for me to walk away from watching that fight. In my own, like, as just being around fighting and, like, watching so many fights, my first concern was, like, she's been controlled. But to your point, every time there was a break, she pieced Gabrielle Sullivan up.
Yeah.
She pieced her up.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that to talk shit on.
No, I mean,
on
that's
her.
what happened. Yeah.
That's what happened.
And then even against the cage, there was like certain things that like, if you notice, she was whizzering on one side and she was knocking on her face with the other hand, right? Which is different than turning your glove over and punching,
Okay.
right? And we had just worked on that week, right? So this is going to sound dirty, but there's no padding on this part of your knuckles,
Yeah.
right? The padding's over here.
Yeah.
So when you're against the cage like that, you start to knock and you actually hit very hard with this.
Yeah.
And it cuts your face up. So every time they separated, you could see her face getting red and swelling, and like her face looked like she had been hit a lot.
Okay.
And she threw the knees to the body more so than the other girl did. You know, so I was like, yo, there's
Dude,
no...
the knees to the body were actually very noticeable.
Yeah.
They were hard knees.
Hard knees, yeah. It's
Yeah.
funny because she's such a, like, hi.
Yeah, super mellow.
She scraps. She's down to fight. You know, like...
And she's gotten better.
Yeah, she's definitely gotten better. Yeah, like little things she was doing against the cage, I was like, I know that she's going to win this.
Yeah.
And then it was split. I saw it her way, 29-28. Somebody had it 30-27 the other
No,
way.
it was 30-27 for
30-27
Sullivan.
the other way.
30-27 for Tahana.
And then 29-28 her way.
Yeah.
Yeah, I 30-27 the other way is crazy, but whatever. Like even one of the camo guys was like he walked over to me after they announced the scoring because I know everybody from camo, and he was like, "What'd you think of that scoring?" I go 30-27 the other way. You crazy? And he goes, "Yeah." He goes, "We were already talking about it." I go 30-27 the other way. She landed no punches, and he was like, "I know."
Dude, I was trying to remember, like, if she actually... I mean, I can't remember now, obviously, but I noticed she didn't really strike.
No.
She was just going shooting.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure she probably threw some punches and stuff, but I don't remember specifically. But, I mean, she came from 10th Planet, right? Is that what...
I think she trained at 10th Planet. She was with Azteca Boxing, so she was with Adrian and Phil Davis.
Okay.
That's who was in her corner. But I think she trains at 10th Planet because I think some of the 10th Planet girls were there with her. Lima was there.
Yeah, I saw
But
Lima
in her corner was Adrian Melendez and Phil Davis. That's who was in her corner.
Okay. I mean...
But it was a good fight.
It was a
and
good
she
fight.
took the fight on short notice. Good on her, you know? There was a couple different offers there for girls that were like, oh, maybe, and then yes, and then no. It's a hard one for Harvey. You know, the girls want, I mean, everybody wants to fight, but everybody wants to win. More
trying
so
to
than they
pad
want
their
to fight.
amateur
Like, who gives a shit about padding your amateur record? What is that? Your permanent record for high school?
Dude,
like
yeah.
nobody cares, man. Just take the fights. You know, like I was supposed to have 3 other guys on the card, didn't get opponents.
What?
Yeah, I was supposed to have 4. I ended up only having the one, Anthony Orozco. I had him, and I was supposed to have 4. So I put in 4 names in addition to all the Tahitians, and I only got 1. The one kid, Bobby, he's 2-0, and he's just like he submitted his first guy in 45 seconds, and he TKO'd the second guy in 28 seconds.
Damn.
So now it's like, oh, now you're not going to get any opponents, buddy. You know, so
Do you think about going out of state or just a different promotions?
It's tough to go for amateur. Like I've thought about, like they're always hitting me up to go up to Spar Star in LA. I just like being at home, man.
Yeah.
It's hard to go far for an amateur fight. It should cost you money, man. Like it costs money to go to another, like for amateur. Ugh, we have a show. We have one of the better.
Epic.
We have one of the better amateur shows in all of California. And I've been to a million of them. Like to build up amateurs, like we can go up to Spar Star. Like let's say there's a state title for a guy with a really good record, and they're like, "Hey man, we want this guy to fight this." All right, cool. I'll go to LA, but like they'll hit me up sometimes, and be like, "Oh, we're in Sacramento. I'm gonna go to Sacramento for an amateur fight, bro. I'm gonna spend money to go fight for no money. How's that work?" No. It's tough, man. It's tough. Like, sometimes you got to travel for pro fights, but for amateur fights, man, we have an amateur show. Like if we can't get fights between here and LA, what's the use? Like,
I mean, there's a reason people come to see Epic. I mean, that was, I don't know, I guess maybe on some subconscious level, maybe that's what helped me choose to get involved with it. But I mean,
They were on ESPN. An entire Epic show was basically on an episode of Why We Fight with Kat Zingano.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It was interesting to see that and see how they portrayed it just on ESPN. And then you go and you see it. And obviously, I mean, with Jason does such a good job of, bringing in the epic exotic cars and doing all those things. And then you got Harvey who's doing all the matchmaking. I mean, Harvey was on the episode.
Yeah.
So it's very interesting. But everybody knows him as well. So I've seen other shows, but they just don't compare to what
Epic
is
has
doing.
done well. The venue is good. The air, I'm a creature of habit, man. I'm trying to be in the same locker room. I park in the same place. I like, it's right by my house. Sometimes it's nice. You go up, you go to fights. I mean, I've gone to fights all over California, and it's great. You win, and then you're like, all right, later. You get in the car, you're like, fuck, man.
Gotta drive like 9 hours.
3 hours home now, man. I don't want to drive 3 hours now. Yeah.
Or you gotta go back to the hotel room. I think for me the worst thing.
I've never stayed in a hotel room.
Dude.
Yeah, no, I leave.
I won't.
I
do
get
it.
in the car, bro. Yeah, I'm gone. If it's 9 hours, I guess I have to stay. But
yeah,
no, I'll drive home.
That was every time we do a show. Harvey and Jason, they have this room block, and they all stay at the hotel. Dude, I live there. They asked me, I think 3 shows ago. This was the last time they asked me. They asked me. They said, "Hey, do you want to stay at the hotel?" I said, "Absolutely not."
No.
I live in North Park.
Yeah.
I'm literally less
cool,
than 10
bro.
minutes away.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
cool. I'll be home.
I want my bed.
Yeah.
I don't want to do any of that. I want to just sit here and enjoy this, and that sounds plenty good to me.
Yeah.
But also too. So, how long ago was this that he came? It was 10 years ago.
8. Yeah, I could find out. I could look up his record and find out when the first time he fought for us was. Probably about 8 years, 8 or 9 years. Yeah.
So did he consult with you when he was thinking about going pro? No.
No. I mean, it was time to go pro. I know I think we talked about it, and I was like, what's the use, man? You fought enough amateur, just go pro. Yeah.
How does one go about that? I think I've asked other fighters this, but I mean, you're a coach. You've seen it probably more than anything, also John X as well. But what does one do to go pro, to make that transition?
I mean, shit, man. It depends who you ask, man. It depends who you ask. I've seen guys go pro with one fight.
Whoa.
Yeah, it depends on who you ask. It depends on their skill level. It depends on, you can go fight on, historically in California, right, there was a lot of reservation shows. And there is no commission for those.
Yeah.
I mean, they say the tribal council oversees them, but that's not. I mean, there's no commission. You could, back in the day, before I moved here, there was, they did shows in TJ, and they did shows at casinos, Saboba, Sequoia. All the casinos had shows. And there's a lot, a lot of the guys that you saw in the UFC later fought at Total Combat in TJ, and then, Gladiator Challenge or King of the Cage. King of the Cage had a lot of shows, but they were at casinos. So, you could just contact those events and fight pro. There's no, if you're going to fight at a CSAC show, if you're going to fight at a sanctioned California professional MMA event, now there's a criteria where a licensed professional MMA coach, right? So not just a licensed corner. There's a separate license, basically just a way to grab money, right?
Yeah.
And make you pay $200 for your license instead of $50 for your license.
Oh my goodness.
But it's basically someone who CSAC has vetted and said, hey, this person is qualified to say that this person is ready to fight pro. Right? So I'm one of those. Okay. I'm a licensed professional MMA coach in California because there was none in San Diego. Right? So when Cage Warriors first started, I had one of my guys I was going to fight Cage Warriors. He had fought one time out of state in Arkansas, and in order for him to fight at Cage Warriors, I had to get that license. So I know the CEO of Cage Warriors, were friends, and he was like, dude, can you get this license for me so you could sign off on your guy to be a professional fighter? And a lot of that stems from those reservation shows.
Oh, wow.
Because there's guys that will pad their records fighting, maybe not the most skilled talent.
Yeah.
Right? And hey, listen, everybody's done it. If you look, it's not just MMA. If you look on Boxing Rec and you look at the beginning of boxers' careers, you'll see the same thing. But with MMA, it got a little crazy for a while. There was a show that used to happen, and they would like there was basically I mean without getting into too many like names and stuff, right? There was someone that made it to the UFC, right? And they had 10 fights real fast. They were like 10-0 and or 9 or 10-0 in 2 years, and they were like, damn, you know, like oh shit, this guy. So somebody I think at there's a couple different MMA like news sites, Bloody Elbow, I think it might have been. They looked at his record, and his record was all fought at the same show. And all of his wins were in like 30 seconds, 25 seconds, 30 seconds, 15 seconds, 30 seconds. They were like, what the hell? This guy's a monster. But then they started looking at his opponents. And his opponent was, he was 0-0. His opponent was 0-0. He was 1-0. His opponent was 0-3. He was 2-0. His opponent was 0-8. He was
Jesus.
So, I mean, there was fights where he was fighting guys. He fought the same guy at like 0-3, and then he fought him a couple fights later. The guy was like 0-12. So... And this is kind of like the inside baseball, like, I don't know if anybody else has talked about this with you because there's a lot of people guilty of it.
Yeah.
Like, when I took over the fight team at the arena, it was one of the first things I said. I was like, hey, I'm not going back to those shows.
Yeah.
And it happens. It happens. Sometimes you think you're getting a real opponent and you get there and they're like, hey, man, so that guy dropped out. We got this guy. And you're like, fuck. Your guy sold tickets, he's trying to fight, but like a lot of people were just like, hey, we're going to fight 7 bums in a row, and that's where we're at.
Yeah.
And then, you'll have a good pro record. Now, for me personally, if you can't beat good lower level pros, why do you want to go to a bigger show? Like, that's why I think that amateurs should make their bones. Like, we usually tell guys, oh, you're going to fight 10 amateur fights. And a lot of them, like the really good ones don't make it to 10. But I would much rather a guy go pro who's 8-2 as an amateur than 10-0. Because at least 8-2, you saw him lose and you go, oh, this is how he behaved after he lost. Mm-hmm. Because if you've never lost before, you've never really been tested, what's going to happen when that pressure hits? So that's the way I think. Maybe I'm wrong. I could be wrong. I don't fucking know. But our guys are relatively tough. Like, we don't have a lot of big names, but they're tough. And they fought a lot of real fights. Win or lose, like, nobody's like, oh, them guys are padding their records. Can't say that shit about us. Mm-hmm. So, like, for me, like, like I said, I don't care about attaching my name to someone that's at the top of the mountain. I care way more about the guys who started with us. So, when it's all said and done and you look at those guys, you'll be like, those motherfuckers were tough, man.
Yeah.
That's all that matters to me. I don't care if, I want them to make it to the UFC, but I'd much rather do it honorably than dishonorably, right? Because ultimately, I'm a fucking martial arts nerd, and I think, like, you got to fight those hard fights. I mean, I didn't get to do it, but, like, when I got hurt fighting, they changed my opponent 3 times the week of the fight, and I was like, I don't care. Whatever. Because that's what I think you're supposed to do. Like, hey, I mean, I've trained to fight somebody. I don't know anything about this guy either. I don't know anything about that guy. Whatever. But, it's easy. Sometimes you got to look at the opponent and be like, this is not a good matchup. Like, I've turned down fights. I have. I'm not going to say, oh, we always accept fights. That's fucking stupid. Like, sometimes you go, hey, you're outgunned here. I'm not going to accept that fight. But I won't even tell the fighter. They don't need to know.
Yeah.
Fuck them. That's why, like, Harvey never, like, he doesn't contact any of our fighters. Harvey contacts me. And it's been like that the whole time. Like, I've had, like, matchmakers, reach out to the fighter, and then I'm like, yo, tell them I said to contact me. And when they do, I go, hey, you don't have to talk to them. You talk to me. Because if you ask a fighter if they want to fight, they should say yes. Mm-hmm. That's why they're a fighter. Like, hey, you want to fight this person? Fuck yeah. Sometimes you got to take that decision away from them and be like, you're not ready for that. Or, fuck it, it's worth it. Yeah. So as far as being a professional, anybody can be a professional fighter. Like, anybody can contact a show and go fight. Mm-hmm. But, like, to be a real CSAC, like a licensed professional on a major show in California, again, it's just getting someone to sign a box, like check a box and sign and say, hey, this person's all right, but at least it's something. Like, if somebody came to me and they were like, hey, man, because I've had other people come to me, and, like, I know most people at most gyms, so, like, I've had other people come to me and be like, hey, man, I found your name as the only guy who's a licensed pro MMA coach, so can you sign for me to be a professional? I'm like, well, yeah, I've looked at your record. Yeah, you're a professional. Like, you're a real fighter.
Yeah.
But if someone comes to me and they're like, hey, man, can you sign this? And I look up their record and they fought nothing but, 0-10 guys. I'm going to be like, dog, I don't know what to tell you, man. you got to go somewhere else. You know,
Yeah,
like not
yeah,
me.
yeah.
I'm not signing this so you can get executed on TV. Fuck that. You know, like I don't want them to be like, who the hell said this guy was fucking Chuck? Like, nah, not me, man. You know,
Yeah,
like I've
yeah.
only signed for a couple people, and it's been because I know that guy. Yeah, he's tough. He knows how to fight. But as far as like criteria, it's the Wild West, man.
Dude, it is. I mean, you know, to that point, I mean, this is not throwing shade, but it's just literally just being aware, I would say, of the situation. I went to the chicken coop. Like
The world famous chicken coop.
dude, we had an epic show the night before. The very next night was the chicken coop. So it was very interesting. And the chicken coop is a professional, like a professional card, essentially, right?
Is it?
That's what they say. And, it was a different vibe. I mean, I had a great time. It was awesome. And, you know, shout out to the fighters that I got to see there that I knew. That was super awesome. But the reason I'm saying this story is because there's a gentleman who I saw fight in the chicken coop, and the way that he had won, I was shocked because he knocked the dude out in a couple seconds. But then the referee didn't call it, and then this dude just, like, tapped him. And I was like, whoa, what the fuck? Like, that's so crazy. Like, how did they let that keep going? Like, the dude obviously got knocked out. But I've seen those fighters, like, who are killing it in those challenges, but then go over to I saw, like, a fighter at Cage Warriors. And I was like, that's the same dude. And then he's battling it out with, like, that caliber fighter. He lost his fight. Again, not talking shit. It's just, like, a part of me wonders, do those wins in those chicken coop-esque fights really prepare you for what you're really going to go up against? Because when you're at Cage Warriors, in my opinion, that's the closest thing you're going to get to like a LFA, a Bellator. You're fighting high-caliber guys.
No, Cage Warriors is as big a show as you're going to get below the UFC.
Yeah.
Yeah, like Graham, the CEO of Cage Warriors.
Graham Boylan.
I was teaching him private lessons.
Oh, really?
That's how I know Graham. Yeah, yeah. I was teaching him private. That's why I don't know if you saw. I posted. I was holding pads for Patty the Batty.
Oh.
When he was here. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's because Graham brought him in. You know, like he was staying with Graham. So they're a major show, man. Like like when you like their shows in Europe are huge. Like I mean I knew about Cage Warriors from Connor, from a lot of the guys that came from Cage Warriors. So like that's as large a show. Like, you know, like when you go there, you're like, fuck, man, this is as big as it gets.
Dude, he took us around and showed us the room where they're doing all the live streaming, and
it's professional.
insane.
They're streaming to the whole world, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah. like I've been to a lot of LFA shows. Cage Warriors is bigger, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, Cage Warriors is bigger. They're big. Like those European fans are fanatical. Like I'm sure if you compare apples to apples and look at who has more views, it's Cage Warriors.
You think so?
Yeah. I could almost guarantee it. Yeah, because there's so many markets outside of the U.S.
Wow.
Yeah. So I mean, there's definitely guys, and I'd like to talk shit. I will talk shit, but there's definitely people that made their bones at the chicken coop who are definitely skilled enough to fight at the highest level.
Okay.
Because they had to get fights. They need a number of fights. Like, they need fights fast. You know, like, if you wait and you're like, oh, I'll fight at Cage Warriors and then I'll wait for LFA to call me, you'll never, like, it's frustrating. Yeah. Because if, let's say you think, all right, I'm going to fight for, you know, whatever show. You train for 2 months and then the week of the fight, that opponent falls out. Now you're like, oh, shit. Like, well, we'll get you on the next one, bud. You're like, fucking next one. It's fucking 3 months from now.
Yeah.
You know, now you haven't fought all year. So those shows are necessary. And I have no problem going to a casino or going to a reservation to bring the guys to fight. I have a problem with automatically assuming they're going to fight a bum. Like, if you give me a real opponent, I'll take guys to the chicken coop right now.
Yeah.
But a complete bum, it's a little hard, man. Like I've been in the locker room with, like, there was a couple different, like, groups of guys that were, like, there to lose. That's, like, since back in the day, since you know, 2010, 2011, they're there to lose.
Damn.
Right? So it's a couple $100. This guy go out there, he'll put fucking MMA gloves on, he'll wear basketball shorts. Like, that's the running joke. Is like, oh, the guy in basketball shorts, yeah, he's probably not going to win, bro. You know, like,
Yeah.
you know, like
Safe bet.
he doesn't look as if he's ever trained, and the other guy has a fucking UFC fighter in his corner. You know, like, what do you think? How do you think this is going to turn out? You know, but you need fights, and you need to build your record. So it's a necessary evil, but I like, you could look at some records and you could be like, damn, this guy fought 7 or 8 people in a row that had never won. Like, that's not cool. That doesn't prepare him for anything. Now, if you fight a good fight and then you go fight at the chicken coop and then you fight another good fight and then you try and get a good opponent at the chicken coop, well, okay, now you're just trying to fight.
Yeah.
But to, like, plan on fighting a bum, I don't know, man.
Dude, it's so crazy because, like, I mean, like, I would, if I were to actually say some of the stories that I know about that place and, like, or I've seen myself, I was bummed on some of them. Some of them were gnarly fights. Like, dude, there was a gnarly fight, but it was like dude, I swear to God, they said the kid was like 15. And he, like, beat on this dude who was like 20. Like, but he was a behemoth. It was so crazy. And I loved it. But it was a scrap. It was a straight scrap.
I mean, we're like one step away from, like, pulling cars up and using the headlights in, like, never back down fashion there. And, like, there's a higher than average drug use in the crowd.
Yeah. Yeah.
And in the locker room.
Yeah.
Like, I was in the locker room the last time I was there, and I was there because someone fucking asked me to corner them, and I was like, all right, dude, I'll do it. And I got there, and it was like, it felt dangerous.
Yeah.
And I like a little bit of trouble, but I was like, I don't like this.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, this is too far, bro. Like half the locker room is on drugs right now. Like, it's not just out in the crowd.
Yeah.
Like, you're in the locker room and you're like, this shit is sketchy.
Yeah.
These motherfuckers this person's on meth. I'm looking at them. I know they're on meth.
Oh, dude, yeah.
And then you see them putting gloves on and you're like, oh, cool. They're going to fight. That's cool. That makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Yeah. Like, they definitely did their blood work.
Guaranteed.
You know, like, you're punching people. Like, people are bleeding.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. You know, like, there's a lot of hepatitis in the world, man.
Dude,
you know,
it's like that scene in Fight Club. It's like, you don't know where I've been, Luke. You don't know where I've been. And all the blood's coming out of the face. Oh my God.
Yeah. So, I mean, there is a need for fights. And if they wanted to run that same event and get really good matchmaking, but the problem is that nobody wants to take a loss at the chicken coop.
It's true.
They don't want it. Like, what, a real fight here? Why? Like, well, fuck it, because you got to fight somebody.
Yeah.
You know, so if you like, if you bring a guy and you're like, yo, we're looking for a real opponent, somebody will accept, but then they'll pull out, and then you're stuck with, like, well, we got this fucking guy.
Yeah.
And you're like, this guy? I thought this guy was going to a drug program right now. And, like, he's ready to fight, and he's like, yeah, I'll fight him. You know, because he knows he's gonna make a couple $100. That's all that matters. He ain't gonna win. He'll try, but he ain't gonna win. In a fist fight, come on, you're unarmed in this bitch. Like, you're just unarmed. Like, you know, I've seen professional fighters that I know, and you see them walk out there, and you look at the opponent, you're like, oh shit, this is gonna be bad.
Yeah.
Like, someone's gonna get executed here, you know. But I mean, if the same thing happens in boxing, you know, like, if you go, like, you look at boxing record, you look at the beginning of people's records, and you'll see 0-0, 0-0, 1-0, 0-3, 2-0, 1-4. It's the same thing. That person ain't beating anybody either. But, you know, with MMA, it's just, MMA is a younger sport. So, you know, like, boxing is like, oh, that's how it's done. You know, you gotta bring them up right. For MMA, you could be in the UFC with 10 fights.
So what happens then? How would you combat that? You're fighting high caliber fighters with either 0-0 records, or like maybe 1-0 or 0-1, whatever. Better records. But say this person keeps winning, they make it to pro level. How do you combat maybe that higher caliber fighter that you're about to, I guess, endure? If you're a professional fighter, you know you've fought high caliber fighters, but with lower levels of records or lower records. How do you make them prepare for that? You know, that LFA or Bellator caliber fighter.
That's tough, man. That's tough. I think part of it for the guys is always their belief in themselves already. Mm-hmm. You know, like, there's some people that get blinded by the lights, and other people that like it. And you just, like, never quite know till you get there.
Yeah.
You know, like the guys that I know that I cornered all their amateur fights, I usually kind of know how they're going to be as pros. But sometimes the weight of like, oh shit, I'm a professional now is different. It affects them differently. As amateurs, they're game. They're game. They're just like, yeah, I can't wait to get it on. I can't wait to fight. And then as pros, you see the stress on them. They don't fight as good. And that, I mean, honestly, that's why sporting teams have sports psychologists, man. You know, like that's why, like some people freeze under the lights. Some people thrive.
Yeah.
I don't really know how to fix that. You know, the only thing you can do is learn your people, learn what they need, learn what kind of warm up they need. Like, hey, do you need fast? Do you need visualization? Do you need that? You know, like on some level, like I've poured a lot of energy into a lot of people, and I think I'm starting to get a little, maybe I'm starting to get a little burned out from it, but it doesn't matter because I'm not going to stop. So sometimes you just gotta you gotta see what happens. You know, you got to be like, hey, this is the fight. You know, like, are you ready for this? Like, I never even ask. Like, hey, we have the opportunity for you to fight here. All right, cool. All right. You know, but let's go. You know, like, and some guys shine and some guys just decline, you know? So I think there's certain sports psychology things you could do, visualization things, but like one thing doesn't work for everybody. So if you go, all right, I'm going to make everyone visualize. I'm going to make everyone do this whole, like, I remember I was at this little mini camp at Team Quest. This is in the early 2000s. And Randy Couture made us all like lay down and do this whole guided meditation, visualization of technique and this and that. And something he had gotten from the Olympic Training Center. I thought it was super beneficial. Somebody else thought it was fucking stupid. Yeah. You know, so it's like there's no rhyme or reason to what a person needs. Some person, like I've cornered guys that need to do like a full fight to warm up. I've cornered guys who shadow box, hit pads a tiny bit, pummel a little bit, and just pace.
And then the fight, they're ready.
And they fight good. Yeah. You know, like I Coach Vince and I always joke. There was a guy who fought for us. He was a heavyweight. And I swear to God, we were warming up. I was like, all right, we're going to hold pads. We're going to hit pads. He probably threw 10 punches. And he was like, I'm good. And he just sat back down. He was a big-ass guy, so I was like, oh, all right. You know, like I never really cornered him before. I was like, weird method of warm-up.
Yeah.
And then, like, you know, they get out there, they announce his name, and I'll never forget it because he's a big fucking guy. And he's standing in front of us, and his opponent is a big, giant dude, and he's pacing back and forth and staring at him. And the guy in our corner, I look up, and his MMA shorts have loose-fit boxers sticking out from the top. Just like plaid, like the kind that you get in a pack of boxers from from Walmart. And he's just standing there like the most unathletic pose, just kind of looking around. And the other guy's pacing and staring at him. And they start fighting, and our guy beat the shit out of that guy. I was like, wow, this guy fights good. Like, that shouldn't happen. Like, you know, that, like, just on look.
Yeah.
You should have got your ass whooped in that fight. You know, like, so there's no, I don't know, man. If somebody has it totally figured out, good on them. I don't. You know, like, I don't. Like, I cornered Liz Carmouche. You know, I've cornered Liz Carmouche now for like 4 or 5 fights. And before her last fight, I remember we took the fight on short notice, and it was against Kana Watanabe. And Watanabe was undefeated.
This is in Bellator?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it was Liz's last fight. Yeah. So it's Kana Watanabe, undefeated, 9 or 10-0. Everyone's talking about how dangerous she is. And I watched all of her fights, and I was like, I don't think this girl's that dangerous. Like, you know, we took, and Liz took the fight on like 4 weeks. You know, and I was like, you know, so there wasn't a lot of time to overthink it. She was a really good judo player. She was like an Olympic alternate or a national team member. So it was like, okay, we got to look out for this. You know, like she kind of always grabs this way. You know, so we had a little bit of time.
Yeah.
And then, like, I remember leading up to the fight, I was just like, this is how I am. And it's how Liz is. That's why we work, you know, we work well together. I remember leading up to the fight, like a couple days leading up to it, we're in the hotel, and I just go, this bitch can't hurt you. I go, she can't hurt you. Can't hurt you in a fist fight. Not possible. And then she was like, oh, all right. And I was like, I'm telling you, this bitch can't hurt you. She can't hurt you with her hands. Can't punch you. Doesn't matter if she punches you. You're not going to hurt.
Yeah.
She's not strong enough. She won't hit hard enough. Like, I watched all of her fights. She was good in the clinch. She'll throw you. And, you know, decent on the ground, good controlling position. But Liz doesn't really get held down. And Liz is super strong in the clinch, super strong in the ground. And I just was like, bitch can't hurt you. was like, she can't hurt you. I was like, you're gonna walk right through her. You're gonna destroy this girl. And after the fight, she was like, because she walked right through her. Like Liz knocked her out in like 25 seconds.
Damn.
And Liz is not like a knockout person, you know. She's like, fights usually take a long time. She grapples a lot, and she literally just walked right at her, and just started throwing punches at her. And she got hit a couple times, and it just wiped off her face, and she just kept throwing, and then she rocked her, and then she went crazy and threw 20 punches at her and finished her. And after the fight, she was like, she couldn't hurt me. That's what she needed to hear. This bitch can't hurt you. Can't hurt you in a fist fight. Like that's what she needed to hear. I don't know. I was just talking shit. But that's what she needed to hear. In her mind, she trusted me and was like, "Oh, she can't hurt me? Okay. I will walk forward and beat her up then." Like that somehow that worked for her. Like other people that might have got him killed. I don't know.
Dude.
Like it's like a puzzle, trying to figure out what the fuck am I supposed to know, man? Like I know A plus B. If they do this, then you should do this. If you're in this position, then these are the steps to try and mitigate damage and get to an advantageous position. Like that's the way my brain works. Like, okay, what are they, if this is how you strike, this is how you do this is how you do that. But that X factor, like everyone's like, oh, you got to know. But it's not the same for one person and the next, where one person needs to be super amped up and they're like, somebody else wants to sit quietly in the locker room. That's something you have to learn.
Dude.
Yeah, like I've cornered people that have fights, and then in the locker room, I'm like, wow, that is not what I expected. Huh.
Leading up to that fight, I went to go film Max Gamboa. The dude was the 135-pound champ who was the main event for that night. I went to film him, and he was training with like a Bellator fighter, UFC fighter, kind of like he was standing with them for sure, but it didn't look anything like impressive. And like I think I saw him throw like maybe 2 kicks, and I was like, damn, like okay, and again, not throwing shade. It was just like super like okay, cool, whatever. This guy, his opponent's like talking shit about him, like or just trying to like he's amping up and doing this stuff. Dude, he goes out there. He threw a bunch of kicks in that first 53 seconds, just chopped dude, and then knocks the dude out in 53 seconds.
That kid Gamboa knows how to fight,
dude.
Yeah, he likes to scrap. Like ever since
blown away.
Yeah, ever since I first saw that kid, I saw him in the back, and I was like, oh, this motherfucker's gonna fight his ass off. Like you can just see it in his face.
He scraps.
Yeah, you can see it in his face.
Super unexpected.
Like, like he's scrappy. Yeah,
dude, it's very. I did not see that coming, and when he won, I was so just like, wow. If somebody would have asked me that was gonna happen, I would have never guessed it. I'd be like, maybe second round, third round, maybe the whole round, maybe the whole thing. That's what it went to last time. It went to decision.
Yeah.
Fuck it. Like
that's why you can't bet on this shit. You can't bet on this shit. You can't bet on this sport. It's too crazy.
Dude.
It's too crazy on any given day. Anybody could beat anybody.
Anybody.
It doesn't even make sense. Like you're like, it doesn't even make sense. Like people ask me all the time, hey, who? Like I'm past the point of being like, oh, this person's gonna win. Like I don't even watch fighting that much anymore. Like I've been watching fighting since the 90s, man. I don't even really watch shit that much anymore. Like I'll watch like somebody I know.
Yeah.
Or like a really good main card of the UFC where people are like, hey, did you see this fight on LFA? I'm like, fuck, was I at LFA?
Yeah.
If I wasn't there, I ain't watching the shit, bro. Like unless it's someone I know is gonna fight. Then I'll watch the fight. I'll watch the shit afterwards.
Yeah.
I gotta tune in. Like, did you see this fight on the undercard? My dick. No, I didn't see that fight, bro. I had no idea. Like, I don't even watch fighting that much anymore. Like, but like, who's gonna win? How the hell should I know? Anything could happen.
Like, just catch somebody with like a random uppercut
like,
and boom, they're done.
I bet they're gonna try and fuck each other up. Like,
Yeah.
I guess. Like sometimes new guys, I'll be like, like if they're nervous, I'll be like, man, I bet this person tries to fucking punch you. I'll be like, what? I bet they're gonna try and beat you up, man. You should probably beat them up though. Like what do we like? What's the game plan here? Like we don't even know this person. Like once you get further up, you can kind of watch and like watch all their fights and be like, oh, they're probably gonna do this, but sometimes they don't even do that.
It's true.
Like you're like, all right, they always do this, and this is how they set this up, and then the fight happens, and you're like, oh shit, it's not happening. They're not doing that thing because they know what they always do, and they're studying the other person. So they're like, well, I don't want to do this because then they'll do that, and if they do this, then I don't want to do that. So like everyone's trying to figure out the best strategy, and that's why sometimes you get two people that just completely negate each other, and it turns into a shit fight. and you're like, this is gonna be a banger, and then it's two guys just kind of feinting,
Yeah.
and then throwing jabs and be like, well, I don't want to jab too much, 'cause he's gonna shoot, and then he's like, well, I'm not gonna shoot because he's gonna throw the, like people just like, there's no rhyme or reason to this, like there's like a logical thing that should happen, but I'm past the point of thinking I can figure that shit out. Like that's, who knows? Yeah.
Dude, no, same. But dude, we've done an hour and a half.
Easy money, bro.
Dude.
I'm good on the mic, baby.
Dude, you are. You were really good on the mic. I mean, I think we touched on everything. We touched on Tahiti. We touched on Rehede. We touched on your Instagram. Dude, what are your plans for your Instagram moving forward? So people can find you and stuff, because you have videos that are very, very good. And I think if you're in martial arts, you should definitely watch his videos, because, I mean, dude, everything you're doing is super helpful. It's technique. I'm big on technique. And you're teaching people how to do it the proper way, and you even make it look easy. Like, hey, like the rotation of your hand as you're throwing a jab, or the rotation of your hand when you're throwing a power, like whatever the two, 1-2, or throwing kicks, or even like shuffle and then hit with the hook or something like that. I was watching some of your videos earlier. What do you plan to? Do you want to make it bigger? Are you trying to like?
Yeah. I mean, now that like I said I was gonna, do it for a year, right? I said I'm gonna keep posting. Even if I get no response, I'm gonna do this for a year. So my Instagram has grown a little bit. Like I think I was at 1,800 when I started. Really, before that, it was just like, hey, here's the post-fight picture, and hey, here's me at someplace. Like since I've started posting those reels, and I've reused quite a bit. Like I fucking just can't keep up sometimes. So I try and post something every day. And like the more new people you get, you're like, oh, maybe they haven't seen this one, So like I reshare stuff, and now I think I'm at like 7,300 or something like that. So
that's considerable growth.
Yeah, I mean it's a good amount. Yeah, like ultimately, like I'm just putting information out there, man. I don't. People ask me all the time to teach private lessons, and I'm like, I'll teach private lessons to people I like. I'm weird, man. I don't, that's how I am. I only have a certain amount of energy. I'm a little old. I'm 44. I don't have the energy to be fucking wasting my time with, I go, hey, if you really want to train, we can train. But ultimately, I am filming. I'm filming an instructional for dynamic striking, and I'm actually filming that this weekend.
Dope.
That's why I'm
we're gonna get your
haircut.
haircut.
I'm getting a haircut, bro. I'm telling you, I'm gonna get a fucking tan. I'm gonna get a haircut.
All right.
I'm gonna fucking move up in the world. Like I like teaching. I like teaching, and I like teaching in order. Like for me, everything. And this first series that I'm gonna film, it like we were saying before the podcast was on. Sometimes I wonder, like, or maybe it was when the podcast was on. Sometimes I wonder, like, the fuck do I know?
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck? What makes me think that I know more than these other people? And I don't think I know more than anybody. I know what I know. And if it doesn't work for you, I don't know, fuck, don't do it. I don't care. It doesn't affect me at all. Like people get like, I think that's an ego thing. Like everyone's ego is fragile. And I'm sure mine is too. But I don't think that, I'm just putting it out there. If it's helpful, and I've got a lot of feedback, people saying it was helpful. So, okay, I'll keep doing it. For me, natural growth is good, man. Natural growth is good. Like I got a couple people that have asked me to come teach seminars. That's, I like teaching in seminar format because I can like get through a lot. Like usually the seminars aren't long enough for me. I'm like, we can go longer, man. I'll keep going. Like I could teach all day, But ultimately the Instagram was because I knew I wanted to teach an organized instructional. First I was just gonna when I first was contacting with dynamic striking. I don't know if you've ever been on their site, but they have a lot of really great instructors, great, and they're like the striking and MMA version of BJJ Fanatics.
Okay.
Right. So their fan base is gigantic. There's millions and millions of people that follow them, and there's a lot of material out there. So and I still study, I study striking. And that's the thing I'm probably best at. And I'll watch full videos on just footwork.
Yeah.
And if I can hear one little thing, I'm like, oh, it was worth it. That's how I am. I'm taking notes on shit that I already know, just because I'm like, or something over the years you forget stuff.
Oh, 100%.
Like you're like, oh, I used to do that all the time. Someone did something the other day. One of our guys showed something to somebody else the other day, and I was like, oh shit, did I show you that? And he goes, yeah, like 8 years ago. And I go, yeah, I used to teach that all the time. I was like, I don't teach that anymore. Because I just forget. Like, it's like so many years of teaching. I've been teaching as my primary gig since 2017 or since 2007.
Damn.
That's been my primary job. It's my only job. I've been teaching at least 10 classes a week since 2007. So, what is it? Whatever that is, 8,000 classes or something like that. I was teaching before that. So in my mind, I looked at a bunch of stuff they had on there, and I was like, oh, this is cool, and that's cool, and oh shit, I remember that, and oh, that's pretty. And nothing that I saw was as detailed as I would want to put it out. Like everyone knows how to throw a fucking jab, bro. Everybody. But like something that I always like to point out is the common mistakes, because the common mistakes are like you could if I was teaching a kickboxing class, I could show a combination and turn around and tell you what everybody's doing wrong, because everybody falls into like certain categories. Like, oh, when you jab, your head goes this way, so your weight is off when you throw this. And sometimes you have to make those. There's like learning styles, audio, visual, kinesthetic, right? And like when you're teaching, you're only really using audio and visual. And some people will look at you and they'll nod, and they got it. And then as soon as they turn away, they're like, what the fuck are we doing?
Yeah.
It just happens. Like, you're like, all right, we're doing this, this, and this, and here's why, and they're going to do this, and then I'm going to do this, and then they're nodding, they got you. And they turn away, and they're like, fuck, what? So some people are just kinesthetic learners. You got to come over and be like, no, like this.
Yep.
And move their body, and then they're like, oh, yeah, I got it.
And you just remember from that point
and
on.
that because that's their learning style. And honestly, when I first started teaching, I'm a pretty good learner. Like, I'm relatively smart. I'm relatively smart, and I grew up playing sports, and I'm a good learner. I'm a visual
understanding.
Yeah, like I'm a good visual and audio learner. And like usually when I'm watching, I start moving my body so that I can get my body connected to what I'm hearing and seeing, right? Not everybody does that, right? So when I first started teaching, I remember like one of the first classes I ever taught, I was like, all right, here's what we're doing. And then I just turn around and I start training. Because that's like, I wanted to train. Nobody was paying me to teach. I was just forced to teach.
Yeah.
But I didn't want to not get my workout. And then somebody's like, I don't get it. I was like, all right. So I showed it again. And I turn away and I start training again. And they're like, I don't know what we're doing. So my answer was, well, were you fucking watching me when I showed it? Because if you open your eyes, you will see it. And they just couldn't do it. And then I was like, well, move your goddamn body like this and do the thing that I'm saying. And then they were like, oh. So I was like, oh, not everyone learns like me. I didn't know that. I just thought they just weren't paying attention.
Makes sense.
So my goal with what I'm going to teach for dynamic striking is to make it so detailed that you can take it and be like, oh, I do that. That's what I'm doing. Mm-hmm. Like, oh, that's why this happens. Like when for some reason, when I throw my right hand, I feel this way. Oh, because of where my head is. It's all like the drum in Karate Kid 2. Right? You ever seen remember the drum in Karate Kid 2? Yeah. That's how your body works, right? So it's all rotation around a central axis. Yep. Right? That's basics, how every sport works. But a lot of times we're like, like when you look at things and like, so my goal anyway is that is like the jumping off point for other instructionals, right? So I'll eventually, like, I like cool shit. I mean, if you don't want to do cool shit, I don't know why you want to do this, right? It's like, I love cool, flashy shit. Yeah. But if your base is not solid, then you're building on shit.
Dude, that's with everything.
You're building on shit. Yeah. Like if your fighting stance is wrong, why the fuck are you trying to switch your feet? You're like I always say, why you want to suck at two things at the same time? Like, why can't you just suck at one thing at a time? I want to start from the ground and build that base and then be like if I taught the way I think you should teach, nobody would go to my class. It would be the most boring class in the whole world. Yeah. You get good, but it would be boring because you do the same shit over and over and over again. So what I'm planning on teaching is basically the foundation of MMA striking. So I'm going to cover punching, I'm going to cover kicking, I'm going to cover defense, I'm going to cover conditioned responses, and then I'm going to start drills, and then I'll address fighting in the clinch and ground and pound. And then from there, whatever happens with it happens. So the Instagram basically was the reason I started posting on there was because I knew I was going to do this. Dope. And I knew I was going to do it. My plan was to do it because I said, I was like, no, I have to make myself uncomfortable. Like getting in front of a room and teaching, that shit does It's easy, man.
Yeah.
It's easy for me at this point. Like, you could put me even in a strange gym, and I'll be anxious until I start. But once I go, all right, here's what we're working on. That's it. I'm in mode. You can't fuck with me then. I'm good.
Yeah.
You know. So I wanted to make myself uncomfortable, and putting myself out there like that just made me uncomfortable. You know, it put me.
Even though it's just a screen, it's just one screen. You could be in front of real people.
Yeah,
but
I don't mind being in front of real people. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's like
Wow.
now everyone can critique you, and everyone can pass judgment on you. But I don't really care.
Yeah.
I don't know why it bothered me. Like, I don't really care. What I think is that I feel like it's arrogant. Like, I feel like it's feeding my ego to think I know more than everybody else, right? But and my wife tells me this all the time. She's like, why do you think that's arrogant? And I go, 'cause it's fucking arrogant. It's arrogant to post a selfie of yourself every day. Like, I'm not an arrogant person.
Yeah.
Look, that's not true. I am a fucking arrogant person, but whatever. Like that, I am. I'm a fucking asshole. But like, I don't like. Hey, man, if you don't want to learn from me, don't.
Yeah.
But
Simple.
then like, you know, I had to like paradigm shift and say, well, then don't watch it. It's like, I grew up listening to Howard Stern. I grew up in New York. I grew up listening to Howard Stern, and he would be like, so don't listen. Like, if you don't like it, don't listen. If you don't like what I'm showing, don't watch it. But if you do, cool. You know, like, and that's why now, like, when people are like, oh man, I saw that, it was really cool, or I saw this and it was really cool, I'm like, oh man, cool, I'm glad you enjoyed it, man. I'm gonna put out more stuff, you know.
Yeah.
And if people find, you know, like, I'll post broadly when I do release that dynamic striking video, and hopefully, like, that's the introduction that people need. You know, just go watch. You know, like, if you find it helpful, awesome. I know you'll find it helpful. I know everyone will. Whether it gets in front of their eyes or not, if you listen to the details and if you really want to do it right, this is how you do it right. You know, like, so that's why, like, I instead of just doing a cool video set, I was like, no, fuck that. I'm going to, like, you should see the outline. It's like I was corresponding with the guy who's their, like, striking director, and I was like, well, here's what I have so far. And he wrote me back. He was like, I've never seen any shit like this.
Dope.
He was like, I've never seen anybody. He goes, like, I've never seen anybody outline it like this. He goes, half the time we get there and they're like, so what are we going to do? And I was like, bro, you're never going to have to worry about me being organized. Like, I'm never going to be unprepared. Like, maybe that was the military, but I think it's just how I've always been. I don't, like, my first job, you're not going to tell me I'm doing a bad job. I'm the baddest motherfucker here.
Yeah.
And I was stocking shelves at a supermarket. And I was like, yo, I'm better than all these motherfuckers. All these motherfuckers suck at this job. You know, like, my second job was at a movie theater. And you know what? I was the baddest motherfucker at that movie theater. Cineplex Odeon, bro. I was the king of that place. You know, like, I just want to be good. Like, I want to be good at my job. And I think part of that is, like, I didn't really have shit growing up. And, like, this is the thing that I'm good at. So why not share it? You know, so that's was the thought behind the social media. It still seems a little arrogant. It feels vain when I, like, open my Instagram, because I'm going to see how many views it has. And that bothers me a little bit. I'm like, oh, that video only got 1,200 views? But it doesn't affect my outlook on things.
It's like analytics, though, too. So it's like, because I find myself thinking the same thing sometimes of, like, videos that I'll post. But then you're like, damn, this video I thought was super fucking dope that didn't hit.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden there's a video that you were like, I wasn't really feeling this one. I put it out, 7,000 views.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
bro, the video I posted that got the most views of anything I've ever posted was like 25,000 views. It was literally a homeless guy walking by my office wearing a Santa Claus hat. And the homeless lady behind him, he had the cart. She was wearing like an elf hat. And I just saw them and I was like, oh shit, look at this. And I recorded it and then I put it to the Run DMC the Christmas song.
Yeah, Christmas Time in Hollis.
Yeah, Christmas Time in Hollis, Queens. I put it to that and I just posted it. I thought it was funny. It's like 25,000 views. I was like, huh. And another one, I had a guy right across the street from my house. He had made a string and like a ball of like a t-shirt or something, and he was just speed bagging that bitch. At 7:30 in the morning, he was out there speed bagging. And I was like, well, I got to record this guy with this speed bag. I was like 15,000 views, you know? Like, I'm like,
yeah.
Bro, I took my whole life to learn how to do this martial arts shit. And I'm getting 5, 6, 7,000 views. this guy's out here hitting a fucking make-believe speed bag. Got like 15,000 views. I was like, oh, no, I mean, there's no rhyme or reason to this, you know?
Dude, my barber filmed a video. We did a pop-up at like one of my coffee pop-ups, like, God, maybe a year, 2 years ago now. But it was at his barbershop, and this guy just came by. He was like some random bum, but he had all this brand new Everlast Ruka like collabs. I was like, yo, this guy is a bum. He's definitely dressed very, very well. I mean, he's wearing a Ruka sweatsuit with Everlast. I was like, that's a limited edition right there. And my homies are like, what, really? But he was like talking shit, and he like ends up, he's like takes this Gatorade bottle, like slaps, you peasants, and he's like yelling at us. But my barber filmed it. Dude, 1.2 million views of this dude just freaking out on me.
Never know what's gonna hit, man.
I'm literally just standing there watching him like yell at me, and I'm like, I can't yell at this fool because I'm working for my business that I started.
So funny, man.
I'm like, no, I'll eat this. I'll shut up. But it's like, all right, I guess so.
Yeah, but yeah, that's the goal, man. The goal is, I'll just keep putting information out there.
All right.
And then I'll release these like more in-depth instructionals. If you like the videos that you're seeing, then the level of instruction that unless I completely fail, but that's not possible.
Yeah, you're not.
Like, once I start teaching, I know how to teach. Like I can't completely fail. It's not possible. It's just teaching. It's what I do every single day. So I just think like that for me, that was the groundwork. So like if people like the videos I'm posting on Instagram, and they're so brief and they're so like they're detailed for what they are, but because that's the way people consume content now. It's like such short little snippets, 15, 20, 25 seconds, more than that.
Dude, yeah. I've definitely, but like one thing I've been messing with now is length of videos to see how short the time span is. I found out 4 seconds is too short. You need to do it anywhere between 7 to 15 seconds. That's basically the window that you can work with. So, yeah. But Chuck, tell me tell all the viewers around the world where they can find you on Instagram.
Coach Chuck MMA.
All right.
Everything is Coach Chuck MMA. Coach Chuck is my email at gmail.com. The website's not built, but everything is Coach Chuck MMA. So that's the easiest place.
Okay. And then if you're in the local area, San Diego, where can they find you at?
Don't worry about finding me, motherfucker. Don't look for me. No, I'm always at the arena. I'm at the arena pretty much every single day.
Okay.
Except for Sunday. We're closed on Sundays.
Oh, so that's your one day out.
That's my one day I don't train. And sometimes I see patients on Sunday. I do acupuncture on Sunday, so I work every day. Sometimes.
I saw that.
Yeah. But yeah, every day I'm at the arena. Like if I know most people local, but if they if you're interested and you have questions, hit me up. DM, message me. I'll usually respond unless it's something stupid. But yeah, like I'm at the arena. Come in and train. If you're a fighter, our team practice is open to everybody.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. That's where we're gonna leave it, guys. Chuck, thank you so much for coming by. Thank you for taking your time.
It was fun, man.
Dude, it's been super rad, and I cannot wait until the next event, and I'm gonna see all of your guys come out. And shout out to everybody in Tahiti, Rahede, Tahana, Claude, Rainui, everybody, all the Black House MMA guys, everybody. Thank you so much, Chuck. Thank you again, brother.
Peace. Yes, thank you so much, Chuck. That was an amazing conversation. And man, I just have to say, like, you're a straight up natural. Watch out for my man's podcast. It's coming soon. It's all cap. Anyways, Chuck, thanks again. I know you're a busy man, and I look forward to seeing you guys and all the arena fighters back out there on May 20th for the next epic fighting. And guys, that's a wrap. Thank you to everyone around the world who continues to support Caffeine and Green week in, week out, whether you're buying the coffee, listening to the podcast, or just showing love to the homies. I really, really appreciate it, guys. And, Caffeine and Green is what it is. Spread the word. If you need any coffee, head on over to caffeineandgreenroasting.com today. That's right, www.caffeineandgreenroasting.com. And that's it. Guys, I'll see you next week. Peace.